joining us. We are live. I'm going to be talking tonight with Jayda. She is a global powerhouse, and I'm just so excited to have you here. I'm Lyntrell. I'm the owner. Awesome. I'm Lyntrell. I'm the owner and founder of Lyntrell's Closet and the Come With Me Sis movement. So I have conversations like this periodically with business owners in the industry who are making power moves, and Jada's one of those. So we are so excited to have you here. I'm going to make sure that we are all streaming and set up on Facebook, and then we will get started. Give me 2 quick seconds. Okay. Let me make sure. Is a global power fighter to have you here.
I mean, she's fancy.
Okay. So, all right, we are set up and ready to go on all devices.
Awesome.
So, Jayda.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead and give us a little bit of your backstory. You have been just amazing since the day that I've met you, and it's been such a pleasure knowing you. But I would love for everyone else to get to see that side of you as I have over the years.
And the beauty is, I don't think we have enough time. You have seen, you have seen me at every element. One thing about me, I am not afraid to leap. I am not afraid to act on something that I feel is in my spirit, and whether it's just a try for a second and figure it out. I like it or not. I'm definitely one of those. Because I don't want to leave nothing unturned. No gift not touched. So you have seen all of that, and I'm grateful for that part. So just a little backdrop. I know that you shared my background in the music industry. I started off as a backstage caterer and did that for about 10 years or so. But in the whole process of being around these artists, traveling across the world, being in places that I could never imagine. Like, you write these things down and you hope for it, you dream that you're going to get there. But then it's like the way that it came to me, I would have never imagined that. But for the Jada who I am right now, I had to experience those experiences and being there, thinking that I was being paid to quote unquote feed celebrities when I was actually there feeding their hearts, feeding their souls, being called out of my room, being stopped to just to share. Because I love seeing people walk in their purpose. I love seeing people have happy days. Like I am a like negative slayer, you call it. If I feel like you're not right, I'm going to really, really do my best to try to figure out how I can assist to get you to a better mode. If you have a project, I'm going to try to figure out how I can bring that thing to fruition. And so through all of my years being in the culinary industry, I was always somehow ending up either if I had an event, thinking about food. If I went somewhere and I'm just there for food, and I ended up helping someone with a breakthrough, was in bondage, whatever it may have been. Like I have heard things, and I just thank God that I'm not a talkative person, because it's like you look at how people like idolize some of these people, and these people are human just like us. They go through stuff, but it's all fit to come to me. And talk about those things. I'm honored for that. But it has been a very beautiful journey. And with COVID happening, come into it, allow me to come into it because more so because depressed, and so it was the best time for me to put on my cape and what I love to do.
Yes. And I love it. For those of you who are joining, it's me and Jayda. She's such a powerhouse, inspiration, businesswoman. And we're over on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. If you're just joining us, thank you. Go ahead and share this live stream with those who you know would catch value from this. Jayda's definitely going to be dropping gems. She always has from the very first day that I met her. So this is going to be good, and you all don't want to miss that. And so it's funny that you say how you get into situations like this and then people gravitate to you. The first day that we met, do you remember that?
Wait, what was it? It was yeah. Listen, I feel like half of the people that I love and like have really been close to me, either we met on social media or from an event. Like it's one of those. It's one of those things.
Yes. So funny enough, the very first day that we met, you were having a Passionately Pink event at your salon.
Oh yeah. Giving back. Giving back.
Yes.
It was for the breast cancer.
Yes, and when I walked in, you were one of the first people I met in Atlanta,
Oh
and
wow.
it felt like I had known you forever. When I walked in, I didn't know anybody. I was there with a mutual friend, and I don't know if maybe I just looked like I didn't know anyone, but you came up to me and
With
you
my
were so welcome. Yeah, with your cape. And you were so welcoming. And it was so funny because at the time I did not know what a powerhouse you were. And I just, I'm like, oh, I met this nice girl and she's so sweet. And then I get on Facebook and I'm like, oh my gosh.
This
But you were so sweet.
I have a friend who talks about that all the time. That's such an honor. Like that makes me again being present is very important to me. And those first impressions are
Mhm.
huge. And then I notice like to come into a space and you're looking like you know what I'm saying? Like what am I doing? Who is here? But it's so funny. I have a friend, she's a publicist and she's like always like mad at me. She's like, people be like, I met Jayda, she's so sweet. And she's like, I'm looking at them and I'm like, she is so like humble. I mean, first of all, don't call me humble. I found out something about her that I don't like.
Uh-huh.
But like you would never understand the things that you experience and the things that she has and always be that way. And for me, that's just a part of me that I make sure that I pray for on a consistent basis. Like I can go and be with the homeless and then go be with the rich and they're gonna all be treated the same because I feel like that's just love. Like that's what we're here for, to spread love in that kind of way. So for you, and now I'm sitting here thinking about it. The first time that we met, I can remember it now clear as day because it's just again that's typical of how I met. I mean, probably 85% of the people who are still around me, and it's so funny when I hear people say no new friends and all this crazy stuff like that just makes me like burn up inside because you never understand the power of relationships, the power of meeting someone new. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get to see someone come from, you know, I'm new here and I'm gonna sit here. I'm gonna make this my, I'm putting my stake in the ground. And I saw you do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really saw you do that. And to see that from the beginning to the end, for me, it's such a blessing. I'm honored. And I'm honored. First of all, your spirit gonna connect what is gonna connect regardless. And that's why I tell people definitely pay attention to your spirit. Definitely pray for discernment and all these good things. I'm always feeling like God is gonna send somebody I'm hosting, especially that is gonna be of a bad spirit or do something to make this this energy different than what I prayed for and what I spoke on and what I believe that's gonna happen. So I'm breathing when I'm putting that cape on because I know like you said someone in here so beautiful. Let me embrace on them and let them know that they're welcome.
Mhm. Thank you. And so you have just had a very extensive career. You've done some of everything. And one of the other things that you did that I just thought was so phenomenal was when you opened up I think it was an internet cafe here. Was
Yes.
that?
Yes.
And so I came out to, I think it was your grand opening, and it was just really nice. It was full of love, full of energy. And I just wanted to always know, what was your inspiration? Because it's never like all in the same thing. You hear people open like maybe fashion, and then they'll delve over into shoes or perfume. But everything that you've done has been so far apart, seems like, but it's still super successful. So
And
how do you? Mhm.
look, I'm listening.
Oh, no, no, no. I was gonna say, how do you get inspiration for all of these different projects?
So this is again, and I think I posted that earlier. How they always say that I'm always ahead of my time. Like I'm always doing
Mhm.
things that's before the norm, and then it becomes norm. Like now, because now you may see an internet cafe, but then when I opened it, it wasn't a thing. But I feel like everything that I've done is for me either a little girl wanting these things or a teenager just seeing these things in my mind and not understanding. And it's so funny that the internet cafe came from. I was in school. I will never forget this. Like crazy. I was in school and they didn't have much for us to do in the little area where I was from, 13 Ward. Like it didn't have much. Me and Baby
Mhm.
and Cash Money were like close. Him and my dad were friends. And
Mhm.
so this is like right when Cash Money was like first coming. And I don't know where I had this grand idea from, but he like, what are you talking about? And I was like, you should open up like a place for people where they have computers at and people can come in with these computers and after school and like this big grand idea was in my mind. Because
Mhm.
I'm like, first of all, my stepdad is in jail at this time. Baby, you got money. Like you said, you still look out for me. Like
Right.
let's make this happen. And so for me is I hold on to promises. I hold on to visions. And so again, this was something I was a little girl. So I get the opportunity. Money is there. I said, okay, this building is here. It's available, and that's where that idea came from. And when I tell you that delay is not deny you, and so much happened, that's why it's very important to hold on to what God has for you because that building, thank you, God, it saved so many people from a brink of destruction. I had one guy came in with a friend. She was bringing him in. They were meeting because he was going through some things, and she was trying to keep an eye on him. And
Mhm.
she was coming to look at the venue for an event that she was hosting. And when they came, she was like, "I just want you to meet my friend. He's going to talk too much, but it just naturally happens around me. When people get around me, it just comes out. So
Mhm.
he's just feeling everything that's happening to him, and the spirit moved in that room so beautifully that he left. But before he left, he said, and he looked at her and said, "Y'all didn't understand. I was ready to kill myself tonight." Like that happened so
Oh
many
my God.
times. I had one girl, and I'm seeing her today, and I'm so proud of her. She would come in, and I have no money, just Wi-Fi. I'll make sure she had lunch every day. Like you come
Mhm.
in there, she was having a baby. The boy had left her. She was just going through. And now she's a multi-million dollar woman. Like now she has a business, and for me to have the opportunity to have this space that
Mhm.
people and there's so many people that I can look at today that was like, wow, they came to look around. They were going through, God allowed me
Mhm.
life to these people and here they are. Like it's just I don't know, and I'm very big on if I see something. I used to be very scared of this.
Mhm.
The intuition that God gave me and the opportunity to see things and see businesses and people. And now I don't because when people listen, it works for them. So
Right.
for them to listen and not give up, and I'm telling you, especially the one who's small, not millionaire, just sitting there and telling her how you can do this, you can do that. She didn't see it then.
Mhm.
you know, look, I'm just on this internet trying to find a job. I'm just trying to
Right.
figure out how I will feed
Right.
myself tomorrow. But
Mhm.
listen, things that you put out, like you can't, force it to stay or force it to whatever. Just ask and hope that, not even hope, believe
Mhm.
that it's going to sink into who it has to sink into and bless them. And I watch it and I see it now. And so Yeah, you've been out there a lot. I'm looking forward to warming up. Listen.
Yes. You know what is also funny is fast forward a few years after that, I hosted an event in that very same building for my boutique. I ended up hosting an event, and I didn't know it was going to be there. I hired a publicist, and I was hosting an event during BET Hip Hop Awards, and my publicist booked the venue. She set everything up. She did everything. She had everything decked out. And when I pulled up, I'm like, no way. And it was
Wow,
the same place, and it was just insane because I couldn't believe it. And anytime before that or after that, I've never. Those are the only two times I've ever been to that building. So
wow.
it was really
For
strange,
you
but
to be on it when you saw the scene, but you're standing there, and whenever you go somewhere, you're still thinking about how you can stand,
Mhm.
how you can grow. So just imagine you're growing at this,
Yeah.
at this time, and then you get to come back where you were growing at and do that. That's wow. I did not know that. That's amazing.
Yes.
That I was working for you, so I couldn't go.
Right.
That's amazing. I love that.
Yes.
Thank you for sharing
Thank
that.
you. No problem. So then we go over to a totally far out extreme, and you open this food truck, and I'm like, wow, like where else does Jada go? It was so good to see you doing food because I know watched you throughout the years prepare meals and things like that. So to see you do the food truck, it wasn't totally like new, but it was
Yeah.
different from everything that I saw you do so far. So how did that come about?
So that happened, okay, and this is listen, that's one of my favorite things to talk about because that's definitely when you have to have balance, discernment, and
Mhm.
really make a decision before you make moves because it was a partnership. They had saw my brand and saw
Mhm.
how I get to be around these celebrities and do all these different things. And so, oh, we want to invest in your brand. And it was a very great idea, especially in the beginning because they were very into listening to my brand, but
Mhm.
as the money started coming in, my brand was getting more and more pushed under the rug. But
Okay.
it was I never wanted a food truck. That's the one thing. That's probably why you looked at it and was like, "What is this?" Because it's for me, it takes a lot for a food truck. You
Mhm.
have to be very stationary, very hands-on, and if you know me, you know that I'm a butterfly, that I like to fly. I just
Mhm.
like to that was very much, but it came from someone seeing, what I was doing and wanting to invest in that. Um, and it was I don't have any regrets from it because again, whatever it is, we try it, we do it, and it's what it is. But that was how that came into fruition, and so I actually walked away from that. Like, just give me my name. You can have
Mhm.
everything. I walked away with so much peace. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was so much inside of that, and it's so crazy. Uh, how I got to walk away from it, like they laugh at it all the time, is I'm not sure if you noticed the time when I became a flight attendant for 3 months. Did you see
I
that?
did. Yep, that was next. I was going to ask that too.
That
Mhm.
that came. Listen, because I was like, okay, I gotta move out this thing with peace because I like peace. I don't like to do anything like it's like I'm gonna do it, but I don't want it to be where it's feeling all
Mhm.
kinds of crazy. So I had a dream that I was filling the application, and then they called me and told me to come to Denver for the interview. So
Wow.
because of the dream, I got up, went on the computer, filled the application, and within 3 days they called. It was like, "Hey, can we fly you up for this interview?" And so I was
Wow.
like, okay. And it was so funny. I have a friend, she flies with them, and and when I was doing it, she was like, you're just doing this to get away. Like, I already know you. So
Mhm.
I was like, well, if this what God is doing, I'm about to manifest this job even more. So, like, I saw it in a dream, I'm about to really have it. So when I made
Mhm.
it to Denver, she happened to be working and having a layover that night there. So I was like,
Mhm.
oh, we're gonna be buddies and coworkers sleeping in the same hotel. So she thought it
Mhm.
was so funny, but literally from the time I got to the area where the interview was, and they had all their flight attendants, I was just like, "Hey, coworker, how you doing, coworker?"
Right.
Speak it.
Okay.
Power is in our tongue. Speaking it,
Mhm.
and I left with an offer. Like I left with an offer. I went back and I was like, okay, for real. Here's these keys to this truck. I
Right.
have to go.
You can have those.
No, but it was the best thing. Like it only lasted. It only lasted for 3 months. And the only reason why because it was a month of class, like intense class, like really
Mhm.
stretched my mind. Like I had not been in school for years, decades, if you will. It really stretched my mind, and I enjoyed the class more than the job. And a lot of people said, "Like, how did you like? We hated school, but for me, I had
Mhm.
my cape on. Like, it was so crazy. We were getting ready to take a test, a real extreme test one day, and I handed a note, an affirmation to the instructor to just read. Like, just say, just read this, please. So when he read it, he was like, "One of your classmates gave me a note and wanted me to read it to you for encouragement." The whole class, yeah, like they knew it was me.
Right.
They knew it was me, but I
Mhm.
was able to, like, being in the midst of all of these people, and it was like if somebody got sent home, they would send you home if you failed a test or late, whatever it was. It was very,
Mhm.
very stressful. So if someone got sent home or whatever, people come and ask me, "Jada, who they got sent home?" They said this is their name. I don't, but you know everybody. I
Right.
mean, at the end, that's just I feel like there's no mistakes, one, because everything serves a purpose in our lives. All things work together for good. So me being at that time and then realizing that this is not a career for you. This was just passing through. This was a reason for you to get from Charlotte and get back to
Mhm.
what you're supposed to be doing.
Right.
Because once it got time to be hired, they never flew me. Like I was begging, like, can I get a flight? I
Are you
flew
serious?
times, like 3 times, and one was a half a time. And of course, it was the best 3 times ever because I'm at the front. They said, you need to tell me you saying hello to 100 and something people like that gave me so much good joy and energy
Mhm.
speaking to all those people. So when they wasn't giving it to me, I was like, "What is this, y'all? What is happening? Like,
Right.
I don't understand like why I'm not flying." So, but I get it because people were flying, they were taking shifts. I couldn't get anything, and I heard that voice. It's done. You just need to do what you needed to do for that.
Mhm.
And so I look at my life as that. That's why I don't believe in putting limits on myself. And I believe whenever I hear that voice to say, I need you to do this, I know it's going to be for a purpose. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I know that it is greater than me. And that's what really made me see and understand that you're here to share joy. You're here to help people with their mindset because I believe in a positive mind. I believe in sharing that wisdom the best that I can. It was, some friends were like, you should just be just brand by itself, just because you could take a brand and you could do this. And I'm like, I don't want to help people build a brand if they don't have no peace. I don't
Right.
want to help people build a brand if they're going to have, burnout. I don't want to help
Mhm.
people just, say, oh, just for the money. Because, even like your thing said, brand and balance, you could have it all. What is your all? You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? For
Yeah.
me, peace is number one.
Yeah.
That's that's before anything else. Peace is number one. But I had to come into that and understand that how to speak it because I've always been living it. I've always known what I wanted, but speaking it and understanding it, changing my the way I think about things, changing the way. Can you hear me?
I think Instagram.
You
Hold
can hear me over there?
on. I
I saw
cannot.
you.
I think Instagram ended. It was loading, but I was trying to see if it went back.
Here for a second.
Hold
Can
on
you hear
one
me?
minute. My Instagram closed. Are
Yeah,
you
I
still
see
on there?
going in a circle, and that's why I was like, "Can you hear me?" So I came back over here.
No, it deleted from me. I don't even know where this video went.
Oh wow! Well, it's still on my. I believe that I'm still live. Hi, Jennifer. I believe that I'm still live, but you're in the circle.
Okay, hold on, because I'm not out of it at all. So hold on, I'm gonna add you. I'm gonna start it over.
Okay, and then I'll
Instagram
re.
does this every single time I try to go live. I don't know what this is, but let me see. I'm adding you back. Hold on.
Okay.
Okay, there. This was
Okay,
getting
so let me
good.
go ahead and remute this one over here.
Okay.
Okay, all right. It's saying I joined and it's saying it's requested. I don't know.
You might have to end the other. Did you end the other one?
Yeah, it said it ended. I'll go back out and come back in again.
Okay. Okay, there. Let me send it again. Does it let you accept it now?
No, it's just asking me to request to join.
Okay, send me a request. It says you're unable to join. You know what? I'm going to I'm gonna close Instagram all the way and reopen it. Hold on. You know what? I'm really starting to just not ever do live on Instagram again. This is bugging me. Okay, now let me add you back now. I don't
Okay.
even know if they're gonna see the first half of this on Instagram because that whole video went away.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna share it back from Facebook because yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there. All right. But yes, so it's funny that you say how you manifest things. So I truly believe that my entire life has been manifested. And everything that I thought I would have, or everything I've written down, what I've spoken into my life, things that I wanted or um, dreamed about, have slowly gravitated to me. And I like that you do talk about balance because what all is to everyone is very different. And then we think we want it all, and all can be so many things. And then when it lays on you, it's like a ton of bricks. And so now it's like, oh no, now I don't think I want it all. Because I can't even balance all of this. So, how do you feel like? What are some keys to getting balance? I don't know if I've ever really had balance.
So I feel like when it comes to balance, first being sure of what you want. Like you just said, like it'll be like, oh no, I want all of this. One is knowing what you want and being very, very clear about that. Because
Mhm.
once you're clear, it'll allow you to pay attention to when you're getting off balance, when
Mhm.
something doesn't feel right, when you came to your limit. So
Mhm.
some people just like, oh, I want this business, I want all this money, I want to do this, I want to do that
Mhm.
with the money, or I just want to travel. But okay, where's your limit? Like what time? Like how late are you gonna work to get to that? Like how many people are you going to see? Like are you gonna have a cap? Really figuring that out. Like what is like again, people know that peace is not up for compromise with me. Like if my peace is not in
Mhm.
it, we don't need to be doing business. You know what I'm saying? And that could be selfish for
Mhm.
someone else, but that's how I feel. That's what I need for a relationship to be successful for me. So really knowing what your limits are and being intentional about that. Because you can manifest things into your life, manifest everything else that comes with it. And until you are
Mhm.
clear, you're gonna continue running into these things. But like, well, I don't want this, I don't want this. So just one being very clear about it. Um, and even when it comes to finances, like, I just want all this money. Okay, so you get all this money and now you have it, now what? So
Right.
being clear on what you want money for. So as you're getting this money, you can get overwhelmed. So my thing is, I used to say I don't need money, which I had to realize that now I see why every time I get all of this money, it flows like water through a basket because I'm saying that I don't need money. So it's not like I have an issue with getting it; it's an issue with
Mhm.
keeping it until
Right.
it becomes residual. So I had to learn to say I need money to be able to serve the way that I serve and continue to have this peace. I like nature, so I need to be able to make sure that I can go where nature, where when it's cold, or I can go somewhere where it feels good, where I feel
Mhm.
good, so I cannot have the winter blues. So
Right.
that's my thing. So that's what I know that I'm working for. So when
So
you're
when you're
clear, you
clear,
know
you
what
know
you're
what you're
working
working
for,
for,
it's gonna
it's
allow
gonna
you. So
allow
if
you.
you're
So if you're
stressing
stressing
out because
out,
you're like,
oh,
I gotta
I
get
gotta
this
get this
deal, I
deal,
gotta
I
make
gotta
this,
make
I
this,
gotta
I
make
gotta
this, I
make
gotta
this, I
make
gotta make
this.
this.
Okay,
Okay,
are
are
you
you
over
over
the
the
amount that
amount
you were
that you were
looking
looking
for?
for?
Because
Because
you
you
shouldn't
shouldn't
be
be
out
out
here
here
working
working
that
that
hard,
hard,
stressing
stressing
yourself,
yourself,
and then
and
you
then you
can't
can't
enjoy it.
enjoy it.
I've
I've
worked
worked
with
around
so
so
many
many
celebrities
celebrities
who
who
get on
get on
stage,
stage,
give
give
their
their
all,
all,
and
and
soulless,
soulless, like
no
no
life,
life,
no
no
joy,
joy,
no
no
happiness.
happiness.
But
But
on
on
stage,
stage
it's this
is this
big,
big,
beautiful
beautiful
image, this
image,
big
this big, beautiful
show,
show.
and
And
and that's why
and
it's
that's
been
why
so
it's been so
beneficial
beneficial
and
and a
blessing to
blessing
have
to
me
have
on
me on
board.
board because,
You know,
they
first
know,
of
first of
all,
all,
when
when
I was
I was
traveling,
traveling,
wherever we
wherever
go,
we
there's
go,
a
there's a
beach.
beach,
Jada's gonna
Jada's
go.
gonna go.
If
If
they rent
they
out
rent
bikes,
out bikes,
Jada's gonna
Jada's
go
gonna go
because that's
because
my
that's
goal
my
to
goal
ride
to
a
ride
bike
a bike
in
in
every
every
country. Like
country.
that's
Like
my
that's
goal
my
to see
goal
a
to
beach
see a
in
beach
every
in every
country.
country.
So
So
they know
they
Jada's
know
gonna
they're
do
gonna
that,
do that.
and
And
that
that
again is
again is
creating
creating
balance. So if
balance.
you
So if I
know
know
that
that
we're gonna
we're
be
gonna be
doing
doing
sound check
sound check
6 o'clock in the
6 o'clock in the
morning,
morning,
and then we're
and
gonna
then
be
we're gonna
working
be
all
working
night.
all night.
We have a
We
break
have a break
somewhere in
somewhere in
there.
there.
I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna go
and
and
feed my
feed my
spirit with
spirit
that.
with that.
So
So
that's
that's
creating my
creating my
balance.
balance.
So
So
that
that
at
at
the
the
end
end
of
of
the
the
night,
night,
I'm
I'm
still
still
joyful
joyful
because I've
because
done
I've
what
done what
I like
I
to
like
do.
to do.
You know,
You know,
artists,
artists,
we can go up with
go
you.
up
If
with
you
you.
can ride
We
with
gotta
you,
ride with you.
where you going
Where you
today?
going
Like
today? Like
because that's
that's
just
just
I'm
I'm
showing
showing
you
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 can
can
have
have
balance in the
balance in
midst
the
of
midst of
this.
this.
You know what I
You know
mean?
what I'm
Like
saying? Like
I'm not
I'm
gonna
not gonna
treat
treat
you
you
like
like
you
you.
because we all
We
for
all
me,
for
for
me,
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 my
my
thoughts,
thoughts.
we
We
all are
all are
celebrities. We
celebrities. We
all
all
are
are
just a beautiful
beautiful
image
image
created in
created in
Christ. You know
Christ.
what
You
I'm
know what
saying?
I'm saying?
So
So
I'm
I'm
not
not
going
going
to,
to,
you
you
know,
know,
sugarcoat.
sugarcoat.
You need to
You
take
need
a
to take
break.
a break.
You need to
You need
go
to
and
go
sit
and
by the
sit by
water.
the
You
water.
need
You
to
need to
breathe. You need
breathe.
to do
You need
this.
to do
I'm
this.
not
I'm
going to
not going to
sugarcoat that
sugarcoat that
because at the
because
end
at
of
the
the
end
day,
of the day,
I know
I
that you
know
need
that
that
you need that
balance.
balance.
So
So
that
that
is
is
really
really
being
being
intentional
intentional
about
about
what you
what you
want
want
and how
and
you
how
want
you
it.
want to
So if
have it.
I
So if
gotta
I gotta
call,
call, I mean,
stop
COVID
it
stop it
all.
all, then
You know,
you know,
if I
if
gotta
I
call,
gotta call, if I know
know what
what
it
it
was,
was, what I'm
whatever
doing,
it
whatever
may
it
be,
may be,
I'm gonna
I'm
go
gonna go and look
see where
to
we're
see where
going
we're going,
first of
first
all,
of all,
and I'm
and
gonna
I'm
make
gonna
this
make
work
this
for
work
you.
for you.
Okay, so
Okay, so
this is the
this is the
itinerary.
itinerary.
We're gonna be overnight here, maybe
We're gonna be
2 days
overnight
here.
here, maybe 2 days
Only not
here.
like,
Oh,
and
not
then
like, and then
people
if
crazy
people be
like
crazy,
we
like
don't have
we don't
time.
have
Why
time.
can't
Why
you
don't have time?
like
Like
creating
creating
creating this
creating this
time so
time
that you
so
can
that you
have
can
this
have
peace
this
of
peace of
mind. Like
mind. Like
that's
that's to
the
me
peace,
peace,
having that
having
peace
that
and
peace, and
doing
then
the
doing
things that brings you
brings
peace
you
and
peace
brings
and
you
brings
joy
you joy
is the
is
key
the
to
key to
having
having
balance. That's
balance.
just
That's
so
just so important.
so
So
important. I think
important. I
you
think you
rose up
rose up
again.
again.
I think Instagram is frozen again. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. I can hear you, but I cannot see you. Hold on.
Yeah.
Well, I will keep going because okay, there you are. So it is good that you said that because I am one to take on many projects at one time. And as a mom, we already have that role to fill. But then when you take on all of these projects, you said something a few moments ago about staying up late, getting it all done, and making sure, that you have peace within it all. And I think because I love what I do, I find peace in my work oftentimes enough to where I don't take enough breaks. And I don't look at it as, a hindrance or a problem because I really do love what I do. But then I go back and I'm like, I need a break, and other people look at it like you need to be taking a break or you should be not doing all this work. But when you love what you do, I think it's very different. And I think it's something many don't get to experience because many people have never really walked in their purpose and they've never gotten to do something that they love. Many people are working jobs and have businesses that they feel like may bring in a lot of money or may be popping at the time, but it's not really what they should be doing. So their heart isn't there. So it's good to hear that you are able to find balance even in situations that are very overwhelming. You're demanding, like you're up at 6 a.m., you're out all day, out all night, and you still are able to find that peace and that balance in whatever it is that you're doing. So when you are out into the world and you're thinking about taking on projects, how many projects do you try to juggle at once?
Okay,
Okay,
so
so
it's again,
again,
it's not
it's
a.
not a.
I don't
I
really
don't
look
really
at
look
it as
at it as
struggling.
struggling.
And that's
That's
why
why
for
for
you,
you
when
when
you
you
said
said
about being
about
a
being
night,
a night, just
creating,
creating,
we
you
make
know, we make
to-do
to-do
lists
lists
for our
for our
businesses and our
businesses and our
brands, like
brands, like
creating a
creating a
to-do
to-do
list for a
list for a
break.
break. Like
Mhm.
just
Putting that
putting
in
that
there,
in
like
there, like
giving
giving
yourself a
yourself
block
a
of
block of
time
time so
that you
that you
really
can
give
really give
yourself that,
yourself
because
that,
it's
because it's
okay
okay
to
to
be
be
invested
invested
into your
into your
brand, and
brand, and
especially if
especially
it's
if it's
bringing
bringing
you
you
joy.
joy.
But
But
because
because
we do
we do
forget
forget
about it, like
about it,
we
like we
forget to
forget
work
to work
out, we
out,
forget to eat sometimes,
sometimes
really like
really like
making a
making a
plan,
plan,
putting that
putting
in
that
your
in your
phone
phone
and really
and really
getting that.
getting
So
that. So
I
I
really
really
wouldn't
wouldn't
say
say
like
like
juggling it,
juggling it,
because I
because
feel
I
like
feel
if
like
it's
if
gonna
it's gonna
make me
make me
juggle, I
juggle,
don't
I
need
don't need to
to do it.
do it.
Okay.
Um,
Like I
like
just
I just
finished,
finished
a friend
a
of
friend
mine,
of mine,
Tamika
Tamika
Scott,
Scott,
she just
she just
launched
launched
her
her
seasonings,
seasoning,
and I'm the
and I'm the creative
creative
director
director
for her
for the
for the
seasonings.
seasoning.
And
And
in the midst
in the
of
midst of
that, it
that,
was
it
like
was like
late
late
night
night
phone
phone
calls.
calls.
It
It
was,
was,
talking to the
the
graphic
graphic
designer,
designer,
talking to
talking
the
to the
store
store
manager,
manager,
like
like
really
really
making
making
sure
sure that
everything
everything
was
is
on
on
point,
point
because
because,
she's
she's
already a
already a
brand.
brand.
She's
And she's
coming with
coming with
something new.
something
I want to
new.
make
I
sure
want to
they
make sure
see
they
her
see her
Mhm.
for
for
who
who
she
she is,
is,
and
and
not,
not,
she
she
has
has
this
this
idea,
idea,
she
she
has
has
this
this
vision.
vision.
You give
You
me a
give me a
vision,
vision
I'm
and
gonna
I'm
run
gonna
with
run
it.
with
You know
it.
what I'm
You know what
saying?
I'm
And
saying?
I'm
And I'm
gonna
gonna
also
also
make
make
sure
sure
you
you
have
have
the
the
peace
peace
while
while
you're,
you're,
executing
executing
your
and
birthday.
birthing
And
this thing.
so,
And so,
I would
I would
remind
remind
her,
her,
you gotta
you
take a
gotta take a
break.
break.
Like,
Like,
go take a
go
ride
take
with
a
your
ride with your
husband.
husband.
Go do
Go do
this.
this.
Go
Go
take
take
a
a
walk.
walk.
Because
Because it's,
you don't
you
want
don't
to get
want
to
to get to
a place
a
where you're
place
just
where you're just
juggling,
juggling, and then you look
back and
back and
you're
you're
looking
looking
all
all
wrinkled and
wrinkled and
old. Like,
old. Like, oh
Right.
man, I let my whole
pass
life
me
pass me
by
by
Yeah.
because
because
I'm
I'm
doing all
doing
of
all
this
of this
stuff.
stuff.
So
So
it's
it's
okay
okay
to do these
do these
multiple things.
multiple
You have
things.
to
You have to
understand
understand too,
people
we
are
all are
designed
designed
differently.
differently.
You have
You have
people, and
people, and
I've
I've
seen
seen
this,
this,
and
and
I've
I've
understood this
understood this
now.
now.
You have
You have
people
people
who
who
can't
can't
multitask.
multitask.
You
You
have
have
people
people
who
who
can.
can. You have
Can
people who
just
can
focus
just
on one
focus on
thing.
one thing.
You have
You have
people
people
like
like
me.
me.
I would get
I would get
bored
bored
focusing on one
focusing on
thing,
one thing,
Mhm.
but
perfect
perfect
example,
example,
we
we
my man
my
is
man is
training me
training
on
me on
boxing right
boxing
now.
right now.
Uh-huh.
And so
And it's
and
so
it's so
funny, like
funny, like
when
when
he's explaining to
planning
me,
to
like,
be like
pop, pop, pop,
pop,
like
like
1, 2, 3,
1, 2,
like
3,
I
like
can
I
get
can
it.
get it.
But when he's
But when
going in
he's going in
slow
slow
motion,
motion,
and that's the
and
way
that's
it's
the way
supposed
it's
to
supposed
train
to train
people,
people,
I get
I get
clueless. Like I
clueless.
don't
Like
know
I
what
don't know
you're
what
talking
you're
about.
talking
You
about.
just
You
say,
just
let me in
let
your
me
right
in
hand
your right hand
because it's too
because it's
slow
too
for me.
slow for me.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? So
So
it's
it's
knowing who
knowing
you
who you
are, but
are,
not
but not
overdoing who
overdoing
you
who
are,
you
so that
are,
you
so
can
that you
have
can
that
have that
balance. So
balance. So
it's
it's
okay
okay
if
if
Mhm.
that
that brings you
joy
joy
to stay up
stay
at
up
night.
at night. It's
Okay for
okay
all that.
for
Like
all that. Like
today,
today,
I was like,
I was like,
let's
let's go
go for a ride to
for a
Dollar
ride to
Tree
Dollar
with
Tree
the
with
family.
family.
It's
It's
little
little
simple
simple
things that
things
help
that
you
help you to
have
have
the balance
the
that
balance
you
that
need.
you need. So
Again,
again,
you don't
we don't
create
create
this
this beautiful
empire
empire and really can't
and
enjoy it
because
because
your
your
mindset has
mindset has
gotten
gotten
sick,
sick.
has
It
gotten
has
you
gotten
tired,
tired.
you've
You've
lost
lost
friends,
friends.
you've
You've
lost,
lost.
but you're gonna lose
You're gonna
people
lose
anyway
people
when you
anyway
walk
when
in
you
the
walk
Right.
door.
in the door.
That's something
That's something
totally
totally
different. But
different.
what I
What I
mean,
mean,
what I mean,
what I
like
Right.
mean,
the
like
times when you
times
know
you
that you're
know that
really
you're
needed,
really
and
needed,
I'm
and
very
I'm
big
very
Mhm.
on
big
this.
on this.
I may
I
not be
may
there
not
for
be there for
everything, but I'm
everything,
gonna
but I'm gonna
definitely be there when
definitely be
you
there
need
when you
me.
need me.
That's just
Mhm.
That's just
who
who
I am.
I am. But
If you
when
don't
you
have
don't have
balance,
balance,
you won't
you
even
won't even
know when
know when
they need
they
you.
need you.
You know what I'm
You know
Right.
saying?
what I'm saying?
You're
Like
not
you're
going
not
to
going to
even
even
show up for
show up
that.
for that.
But
But when you have that
balance,
balance,
you
you
know
know
that
that
you're
you're
trying to
trying to
achieve
achieve
something.
something.
The
The
times that are
times that are
important,
important,
you're
you're
gonna
gonna
say,
say,
I have
I
to,
have to take a break.
I have to
I
put a
have to
pause.
put a pause on this.
It is so good that you said that because I struggled with that at the beginning. And people would always think that I was being, you know, like I just wasn't supportive. But because I take on so many tasks, I'm burnt out to do anything else, like social. And me, I was like a different type of person. I was very young when I moved to Atlanta. I didn't have any friends, family here, anything like that. And so it was I was like out of my element element, and I was really trying to find my way, and I didn't know anybody. So I didn't have time to, in my mind, I didn't have time to stop and smell the roses, or go home and go to birthday parties and social events. And we were young, so they were, a lot of my friends were still, hanging out on the weekends and doing normal things. I was trying to grow a brand. I thought I was going to be a multimillionaire in 1 year. So I just did not have time to do that, and people didn't understand because they would think, like, she's just not showing up, or, dang, I invited her to my birthday party. She done switched up, she moved out of town and she switched up. And it was never that. It's just, I was really focused. I am the kind of person that when I focus on something, I am dead set. I have laser vision. I don't do anything outside of that. Like even now, I haven't dated in a long time because I'm just right. I know. And I get asked on, I get asked on dates, but I'm so laser focused that I don't even want to stop what I'm doing long enough to like go on a date or get to know anybody because I'm 100% in or I'm 100% out. So, and I'm a lover by nature. So I feel like if I start dating and I like you and I'm really vibing with you, now I'm going to want to spend all my time with you and I'm going to not want to do this stuff over here. So I'm the kind of person that I have to focus 1000% on these things and get them to a place where I feel comfortable and then do something else. So it's funny to hear. I know, because you find time for like love and all.
Love. First of all, you know I love love. First of all, you know I love love. So listen, that's a whole nother mindset. That's something that you have to really practice on. You have to start saying it. You have to start seeing yourself. Because listen to what you just said. You said that you're focused. So if you date somebody and you like that person, then you're gonna stop dating. Stop being focused on this person. You have to create that balance when you start dating. Because at the end of the day, the person who you meet, they're gonna want to still be with that person they met. So if you are on purpose on fire, and then you stop because you're in love, you're not showing them who they met you for.
Right.
So you have to figure out how can I give the best of me and still work on my purpose, because all of that, your purpose is your body, your soul, your heart, all of that entangled together. And for some reason, somebody back in the day had to say that you can't have all this. That's why you have parents who's like, I'm staying in this marriage till the kids get finished high school, college, because I want them to see that. You have people who taking over, get married, we have stages where, I gave up my career for you. No way. You gave up your career for yourself. Because you didn't think in your mind that you can do all these things. You can be totally 100% who you are in your purpose and still be 100% love to someone else. You can do that. So you owe yourself that. So you owe yourself to do the mind. This one you be a mindset for you, but you owe that to yourself. Love. Do you think that God would not put something in you so beautiful? And I mean, just you, period, beautiful. Your kids want to see you happy all the way around the board. Like, to let you that mom deserves love and mom can have love. So no ma'am. You gotta figure it out. And just writing these schedules. You gotta put a clock in on a date. And look, 9 o'clock, we gotta go. It's okay. And it happens to be someone that you like, you all finding that, that attraction, that connection. Hey, babe, you saw this how I am when you met. I had to spend time on this. And again, someone who really likes you and they in your purpose, they're going to understand who you are. For the most part, when you meet someone and then they change on you, I can see if it's a good change. If you dumb down and drop down and stop moving forward, it really hinders the relationship because it's not who the person signed up for. So you're not who you signed up for at the same time.
Right.
So listen, get you a planner. I know you have one. Listen to a powerhouse. You make things happen in business. Not things happen in your personal life because you deserve it.
Thank
you deserve it. You're welcome. You deserve it.
I'm gonna take that. I'm gonna take that.
It's so good. Let me tell you, God is so amazing. Listen, I'm so glad I was open because you see me kissing frogs, ma'am. So it was like this feels like had I not been open, had I not been okay, but definitely I would not be able to experience this. And even having that mindset to work on things. And the person who's your person, they are going to work on whatever you need to work on together. period. So
So I'm on my soapbox.
Do you feel like it's better to date someone in I guess who's equally busy?
Again, listen.
Listen.
First of
First
all,
of all,
I don't know if
I
you
don't know.
I don't know
I
if
don't
you
know
know
if you
anything
know
about
anything
human
about
design.
that.
So
So
we
we
are
are
all
all
our
our
DNA is all
are
different.
different.
Mm-hmm.
People are
People
going
are
to be
going to be
different.
different.
You
You
have
have
people that
people
you
that you
see, and
see.
I mean, we wonder,
We
like,
wonder
oh,
like,
how did
how
them
did them
two
two
get
get
together?
together?
Like,
Like,
how
Right.
does
how
this
does
work?
this work?
You
You
get with
get with
somebody who
somebody
your
who
soul
your soul
connects to.
connects to.
That's
That's
what
what
matters.
matters.
It
It
doesn't
doesn't
matter
matter
if
if
they
they
work
work
a
a
9 to
9 to 5,
5, if
if
whatever it
whatever
is
it is
they
they
do.
do.
You
You
literally
literally you
see that
see that
because,
because
and
and
then
then
we're
we're
in
in
a
a
space
space
now
now
of
of
a
a
girlfriend,
girlfriend,
and
and
she
she
has
has
she's
she's
dating
dating
someone,
someone,
and
and
he loves
he
her.
loves her.
She
She
loves
loves
him.
him.
He's
He's like
he
he
works, but
works, but he's like
he's worked
he's
so
worked
hard.
so hard. I gotta focus on the future. Focus on the future.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
he's a
he's a
multimillionaire.
multi-millionaire.
I said,
I
get a
said,
man
get a
a
man a
job.
job.
Like this,
Like
you
this,
can
you
put the
can
stuff
put
that
stuff
you're
that you're
complaining
complaining
about.
about.
You can
You can
fix
fix
it.
it.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Things don't
Things
have
don't
to
have
be
to be
so
so
hard or
hard
so
or so
difficult.
difficult. So
No,
no,
because
because
at
at
the
the
end
end
of
of
the
the
day,
day, your
your
hearts
hearts
might
might
not
not
match.
match. That
That
was
was
the
the
problem
problem
for
too
so
for
many
many
decades.
decades.
People feel
People
they
feel
gotta
they gotta
match
match each other's,
careers and
careers and
match
match to the
pockets,
pockets,
Mm.
and they
and
don't
they
love
don't
each
love
other.
each other.
They just
They
Yeah.
out
just
here
out here
matching,
matching,
taking
taking
pictures
pictures
together
together with
matching red
matching red
bottoms.
bottoms.
But
But
Right.
when they get
behind
behind
closed
doors,
doors,
they
they
separate. They
separate,
can't
they
stand each
stand
other.
each other,
They get
they
into
get into
arguments
arguments and have to for weeks
because
together.
they're
They're not
trying
trying
to
to
fix
fix
it.
it. They're not trying to, because
Mm-hmm.
there's love. It's
That's the
that's
thing
the
that's
thing that's
important.
important.
Who your
Who your
soul
soul
connects to.
connects to.
That
That
is
is
your
your
person.
person.
That
That
is
is
who
who
you're
you're
supposed
supposed
to
to
be
be
with.
with.
And if
And
you
if
have
you
to
have to
date
date
and
and
date
date
and
and
date
date
and
to
find that
find that
person,
person,
do that.
do that.
Don't just
Don't
because
just because
this
this
feels
feels
good. This
good.
is
This is
they
they
match my
match
money.
my money. They match my stride. They match this. It doesn't
Because
because you can meet a bus driver
Right.
who
attaches to your
attaches to your
soul.
soul.
I
Not
ain't
in the bus
they
driver,
meet
they
too.
meet too.
Right.
But they
Somebody
somebody
I mean is
is
someone
someone
in
from
a lower
in a lower
bracket
bracket
Mm-hmm.
than you
that
that
really
really
your
touches your
heart
heart
and touches
and
your
touches your
soul,
soul,
you
and
two
you can
come
come
together
together
and
and
become
become
a
a
powerhouse
powerhouse couple
and
and
go to
go to
levels that
levels
you
that
wouldn't
you wouldn't
imagine,
imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, I
no,
don't
I don't
believe
believe that.
that.
And you know what? Another thing, and shout out to Tamika. I definitely am gonna try her seasonings and spices.
She was grinding them
Grab
spices
my
up trying to get it right, honey. Trust me, she
she
was.
was.
I am definitely gonna try it. But that's a good segue into friendships. So okay, we balance our relationship because this is the thing. I mean, at this point, many people are going to have a side hustle or something when you meet them. Even if they have a 9 to 5, it's just nature now that many people have multiple things going on. So, okay, you got your life going on. Now you're dating someone and you have this going on. And then you have, you know, I guess friends who have all of these things going on, much like Tamika. Like, how do you find time for, I'm just confused on how you find time for all of this stuff.
Listen, it's so
It's
funny.
so
We have
funny.
a
We have a
running joke
running
in the
joke in
house,
the house.
Tamika
Tamika
Tuesdays.
Tuesday.
So, so we get it all done. But again, it's so
It's so
crazy
crazy
though.
though.
It,
It
I really
I really
believe
believe
that
that
now
now
I
I
made
made
it
it
such
such
a good
good
like part of
part of
programming, a
programming,
part
a
of my
part of my
life.
life.
Like
Like
Mhm.
one of you
I
saw
saw
earlier, like I
earlier,
was
like I was
having
having
brain
brain
fog.
fog.
Mhm.
Trying to
I
get
was trying to get
something on
something on
the
the
computer,
computer,
trying to
trying to
build this
build this
course.
course.
And I'm like, this is just
This is
like
just
because
like
I'm a
I'm a
storyteller. I'm
storyteller. I'm
like
a
Mhm.
visual,
like
like
just
to
to
talk. So
talk.
to be
So
able
to be able
to
to have
put
to
this
put
stuff
this
in,
stuff
in
in
paper and all
paper
this
and all
other
this
stuff,
other
it was
stuff,
just
which is
mind-boggling for me.
Mhm.
But I was like,
but
I
I was
gotta
like,
go to
I
the
gotta go
background
back
because I
because I
knew
knew
if I
if
get
I
in
get
like
on the
that
back of
nature
nature,
that
that
my
my
mind would,
mind would
have
have
ease and I
ease
start
and
hearing
start
things
hearing things
better.
better.
And so
And
it
so
just
it just
becomes
becomes
a
a
nature of
nature
my
of my
time. And you
time.
never
And you never
believe
believe
I
I
have
have
days,
days,
especially
especially
Mondays.
Mondays.
Mondays is a
Mondays is
very
a
important day
important
to
day
me
to
to
me
do
to
rest. Like
rest.
that's
Like
my
that's my Sunday.
Mhm.
so
So
I
I
believe it's
believe
just
it's just
really
really
making it
making it
happen.
happen. And again,
I
like I
mean,
said, I might not be there for
I'm there
everything. I'm
for
there
the
for
minute
it
because
because
out of it all,
out of it
I
all,
believe
not
it that
believe
I
it
get
that
rest,
I
but
get
I
rest,
don't
but
get
I get rest.
I
But
can I rest
I
when
rest,
Right.
but
I rest when I need to rest. and it's just,
it's just
I
I
think
think
it
it
just
just has
has
become
become
a
a lifestyle
lifestyle
for
for
me
me
to
to
do what I
do what I
can
can when I can, and when
when
I
I
can't,
just
I
can't.
just can't.
Mhm.
Um, and
And
knowing when to
knowing
make
when to make the
commitments and knowing
commitments and
when to
knowing when
do
to do
things. And I
things.
have
And I
days
have
where I
days
say,
where I
listen,
say, listen,
I can't
I
talk
can't
today. I
talk
have to
today.
do
I
this.
have
This
to
is
do this.
something I
This is
have to
something I
get done.
have
Like
to get done.
yesterday,
Like yesterday,
I
I
had
had
an
an assignment I
assignment
need
to
to get
get done.
done. In
In
addition
addition
to,
to,
I had
I had month
month
rent
rent
stuff,
stuff,
thrown into my
thrown into
schedule. I
my
had to
schedule. I had to
plan
plan
a
a
funeral
funeral
yesterday
yesterday
morning.
morning.
My
My grandmother
grandmother passed.
passed,
So
and
I'm
so
on the
I'm on
phone
the phone
with
dealing with
insurance
insurance,
people,
dealing
all
with
of
all of
that.
that.
At the
At
same
the same
time,
time,
being there for
being there for
everybody else.
everybody else.
And
And
so
so
that was
that was
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Yesterday,
Yesterday,
I was
I
like,
was like,
okay, I
okay,
just
I
can't
just
answer the
can't answer the
phone
phone
because I have to
because I
get this
have to get
done.
this
So
done. So I just,
I don't know,
I
make
don't know,
it a
make it a
decision
decision
on
on
what's
what's
important and what's
important and
not
what's not
important,
important,
and
and
also knowing
also
the
knowing the
value of
value of
who needs
who
you. They'll
needs you.
still be
They'll
there
still be there because I have a friend who
he was calling
he
a
was
few
calling a few
times
times
yesterday, but
yesterday, but
again, I was
again,
getting
I
stuff
was getting stuff
done.
done. And
Today I
today
talked
I
to him.
talked to him like nothing.
He never
He
once
never
said he
once
needed
said he
to
could answer
call.
my
I'm
call.
gonna do this,
Do
I'm gonna
this,
do
Nice.
do
that.
that.
He said what he
Said what
needed.
he
I
needed.
was
I
there
was
for
there
him
for him
to get
to
what he
get what
needed,
he needed,
and
and
it still
it
worked
still
out.
worked out.
So
So
Mhm.
when it's who
when
you
it's who
are,
you are,
people
people will
accept
accept
it.
it. They,
They'll
it
start
just start
flowing.
flowing.
People even
People even
call
call,
and
and
what they
before
start,
they
they like,
start, it's
can I
like,
vent
can I
for a
vent
second?
for
Do
a
you
second?
have
Do you
time?
have time?
Right.
Do you
Do
have
you have
time?
time?
So
Mhm.
So
to me, that's
to
an
me, that's an
honor
honor
because they
because
know,
they
Mhm.
like,
know, like,
I
I
value my
value my
time
time
and I
and I
value my
value my
energy.
energy.
Mhm.
So
So
they're
they're
not
not
gonna
gonna
just
just
call
call
my
my
phone
phone.
and I don't even know
I
what
don't
it
know
Right.
what
feels
it
like
feels
for
like
someone to
for
call
someone
me
to call
without.
me without.
Mhm.
I
I
don't
don't
even
even understand,
understand,
know what
or
it
know
feels
what
like,
it
don't
feels
wanna
like,
know what
don't
it
want to
feels
know what
like
it feels
at
like
the
at
Right.
the end of the day.
because it's a
Because
beautiful
it's a
thing
beautiful
when
thing
there's
when
not
that's
going
not
on
going
in
on
your
in
life.
your
It's
life.
a
It's a
beautiful thing
beautiful
when
thing
people
when people
can
can
call with
call
a
with a
problem
problem,
knowing
knowing
that I'm
that
not
I'm
gonna
not
be
going to be
biased,
biased.
one,
One,
know
I know
that,
Mhm.
that,
and I'm going
and
to
I'm
let
going to let
get
you
it all
get it
out,
all out.
then
But then
they know
they
that,
know
oh,
that,
she's
oh,
gonna
she's
still
gonna
come with
still
the
come with
party
the
because
party
I'm
because
gonna
I'm
be
gonna
very
be very
optimistic about
optimistic
it, and I'm
about
gonna
it, and
find
I'm
it
gonna find
good
it good
because that's just
because
what I
that's just
do.
what I do.
Find it good of
Find
why
it
you
good of why you
called,
called,
and
and
that's
that's
something that
something that
again I
again I
created for
created
myself
for
and I
myself
made
and
for
I made
myself.
for myself.
Once you start
Once you start
practicing
practicing
something,
something,
it becomes
it
a
becomes a
habit.
habit.
So
So
to me,
to me,
it
it
isn't
isn't
anymore like
anymore like
a
a
struggle
struggle
or
or
trying
trying
to do
to
it.
do it.
I
I
demanded it, I
demanded
made
it,
it
I made it
happen,
happen,
and
and then,
here I
here
am.
I am.
Here I am
Here I
now.
am now.
Same
The
thing when
same
I was
thing
on
when I
the
was on the
road.
road.
We had
We had
sound check
sound check 6
in the morning.
in the morning.
Show may go
Show
on
may
to
go
2,
on to
3
2,
in the
3 in the
morning.
morning.
I
I
never went to
never
an
went to
after
an
party.
after party.
Never.
Never.
Everybody else,
Everybody
they
else, they
love after
love after
parties.
parties.
You
Mhm.
know what I'm
You know what I'm saying?
saying? For
But
me,
for me,
I'm
I'm
going
going
to after
to
party
after
because I'm
Right.
party
gonna
because I'm
catch
going
the
to
beach
catch
in
the
the
beach in
morning.
the morning.
So
Mhm.
So
that,
that,
knowing
knowing
what matters
what
to you
matters to you
and what
and
matters
what
the
matters
most
the
to
most to
making
you,
those
making
mindful
those mindful
decisions.
decisions.
My per
My per
diem.
diem.
I'm not
I'm
spending
not
it because I'm
spending
not
because I'm
going
not going
party.
for it.
Right.
Other than
Other
me,
than
I
me,
still
I
have it
still
in my
have it in my
pocket.
pocket.
You
Mhm.
know,
Because
again, that's
again,
just
that's
making
just making
decisions. So
decisions.
once
So
it
once it
becomes
becomes a
a lifestyle,
lifestyle,
it
it
becomes
becomes
easy,
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 easy. So
easy. So
I just
I
say,
just say,
just
just
start
start
again.
again.
When I said
What I said
earlier,
earlier,
putting it in your
putting it in your
schedule,
schedule,
making it
making it a part of your day.
Mary. Oh my
Derek,
God,
oh my gosh, I see this girl. I've been praying for her, so to see her on here, I'm
sorry.
sorry.
I
I
just
just
tell
need
Mhm.
to
her,
tell her I love her. Um,
okay,
okay,
but
but
I'm gonna reach
I'm
out
gonna
to
reach
her.
out
But
to her. But
I've been
I've been
praying for her
praying
and
for her.
seeing her name
Her
there to
there
do
did
something.
something.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Thank
Lord.
you, Lord.
Um, writing it
Writing it
down,
down,
putting it,
putting it,
making a note
making
of
a note
it,
of it,
and
and
being
being
serious
serious
about it.
about it.
And
And
once you
once
do
you do that,
it'll be it'll
it'll
flow
flow
so
so
easy that
easily
you
that you
can
can
take
take
on
on
multiple
multiple
things
things
because
because
you
you
still have
still
those
have those
windows where
windows
you're
where you're
dedicated
dedicating
to
for yourself.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things I did reach out to you the other day and express my condolences, and I was in shock at how you were, like I asked you, were you okay? And you're like, yeah, like, and I've seen you do this multiple times over the years during losses. And it's more of and I don't know if this is the Nola in you, but you all celebrate life even in death. And that's
Yes.
something that I've admired with you throughout the years. I've seen you lose many family members or friends or people who were close to you, and you've always still shown up with that, and that speaks to the balance that you have in your life, because most people are broken during those times. Most people are trying to find some sort of comfort, but when you have a full circle around you, then it's easy to have that within as well. What?
No, we just finished talking about that just yesterday. Tamika and I was having a conversation with that, and I was telling her how I remember like 10 years ago when I used to like fake
fake
feeling
feeling
sad
sad
because
because
people
people
didn't
didn't
understand
understand
how I
how
was
I was
able
able
to
to
do
do
that.
that.
And
And
so,
so, you know,
it was
it
like
was like it was
almost
almost
like
like
a
with a
question,
question,
like
like
how did
how
he
did
act
he
like
react like
that?
that? Like that was
What was
also
the
his
situation?
situation.
So
So
I
I
found
felt
myself
myself
like
like
lying,
lying,
like,
like,
oh,
oh,
so,
so,
and I
and
got
I got
convicted by the
convicted by
Holy
the Holy
Spirit so
Spirit so
heavy
heavy
behind that.
behind that.
And I
And
never
I never
forget,
forget, I
I
cried, I
cried,
cried, and I
and I
cried,
said,
and I said,
never
never
again.
again.
God was like,
God was
I
like,
gave
I
you a
gave you
gift.
a gift.
Like,
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
gave
gave
you
you
a
a
gift
gift
that a
that
lot of
a
people
lot of
don't
people don't
have.
have.
And it's
And it's
okay.
okay.
Somebody has
Somebody
to be
has to be
strong.
strong. Somebody
Like, even
could
when
be
they
like,
say it,
even when
like,
they say it, like,
they have little
they have the
beams
little
to check
moves
on
to
the
check on the
strong
strong
person.
person. Don't check on
Yeah.
them.
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know
Like,
what I'm
you don't
saying?
have
Like,
to
you don't
check
have to
on
check
me.
on me. I
Mm-hmm.
promise you,
If I
if
ever
I ever
feel like
feel like
I
I
have
have
an
an
issue
issue
of
of
this
this
kind of way,
kind of way,
I'm going
I'm
to go
going
to
to go to
God
God
with it.
with
Like,
like
because
because
Right.
one,
one,
I'm
I'm
very
very
big
big
on
on
just
just
trying to
trying to
find
find
joy,
joy in everything,
trying to
trying to
find, like,
find like
even when
even
it
when it
hurts,
hurts,
just
just
coming
coming
back
back
from it
from it
quickly.
weekly
Mm-hmm.
Because
because
it's
it's
something
something
that if
that if
God
God
gave me
gave
this,
you this,
why
why
am I
am I
out
out
here
here
hiding?
hiding?
Why am I
Why am I
out
Right.
out
here
here
faking
faking
something
something
else?
else?
It's just,
It's just
and again,
and
I tell
again
my
I
friend,
tell my
I
friend,
think you
I
did
think
it to
you did
me.
it to me.
It was like
It was like
her
her son
her
her
son
son
was
was
murdered.
murdered.
This is
This is
before
before
Mm-hmm.
Katrina,
Katrina.
and
And
she had
she had
called me
called me
like,
like,
I
I
can't go
can't
back
go
there.
back
I
there. I can't
can't
go
go
back
back there
there
to
and
see
see
him
him,
to
like to
identify
identify
her
her
son.
son.
And
And
at
at
that
that
point,
point,
I had to
I
be
had to be
20,
20, I think
24,
24,
25.
25,
Mm-hmm.
I
and
was
I was
like
like
freaked
freaked
out of
out
dead
of dead
bodies. I
bodies.
would
Like I would
just
just
cry
cry
like all
like
the
Mm-hmm.
all the
time.
time.
And so
And
when she
so
said
she
it,
said
I
it,
had
I
like
had like
prayed and
prayed,
asked
asking
God for
God
strength
for
to go back
strength to go
and
back
do
there
it.
and
So I
do
was
it. So
doing
I
it
was
for
doing it
her.
for her.
Mm-hmm.
And
I went
I
back
went back
there,
there,
and this is how
and this
how
is
I operate
how
now.
I
I believe like
how I
put
operate now.
something
I
in me
believe like
that never
put
left,
something in
and
me
I'm
that
so
never
thankful
left. And
for
I'm
it.
so thankful for it
I
because
went in there
I went
and
in
did it,
there
and
and did it and then
planned her
helped plan
funeral,
her
did everything
funeral,
was
did
there,
everything was there
just how I
100%.
am now. Like,
And
people's like,
just
you
how
will
I
start
am
to
now.
call me
Like,
like a funeral
you know,
lady
people's
because
like, they
they
don't
always
start calling you like a
calling on
funeral
you.
lady because you always calling on you to do
And
something.
I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's not
And I'm
it.
like,
I just feel
no,
like
that's not
that's,
it. I just
people
feel like
understand
that
I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
bring
bring
joy.
I'm
Like,
gonna bring joy.
that's
Like
my daily prayer
that's my
that
gift
for
for
them.
to be
So
that
they
for
just know I'm
somebody.
gonna
So they
bring
just
it.
know I'm gonna bring it.
So
So
it's again, it's a
it's the
constant
constant
desire.
desire.
So,
So
with
when I keep
manifesting things, I'm
manifesting things, I'm
manifesting peace, I'm
manifesting peace, I'm
manifesting
manifesting
joy. Like,
joy.
that
Like
comes
that
out of my
comes out
mouth
of my mouth
every day.
every day.
That's just
That's
what
just
I want
what I
to,
want to,
what
what I want
I
to
want
be,
to
what I
bring.
want to bring.
It
It
hurts me,
hurts
like
like
physically,
physically
if
if
I'm
I'm
having
having
like
like
physically.
physically.
And that's why
And that's
I'm
why I'm
very big
very big on telling people
how
how
our
our bodies
bodies go
go
through
through
pain
pain
and get
and get
diseases.
diseases.
It
It
starts in our
starts in our
mind.
mind.
It
It
starts in our
starts in our
mind. We
mind.
have
We
the
have the
power
power
to
to
stop
stop
a
a
lot of
lot of
diseases
diseases
with our
Yeah.
with our
mindset.
mindset.
A
A
lot of
lot of
because
because
I
I
literally
live
feel
feel
ill
ill
if I'm
if
not
I'm
in
not
a
in
good
a good
mood.
mood.
And
And
I
I
don't
don't
like
like that. I
Right.
don't like that
Yeah.
at
at
all.
all. So
And
yeah.
we share that in common because I see on social media so many times, like people are, like you said, like no new friends and nobody wants to work together. People don't want to collaborate. And I'm like, I get on social media and I feel amazing in the mornings. I'm like, why is everybody so angry? It's like we get on here and people are just throwing shots at 7 in the morning. People are arguing, they're fussing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like what do you all do at night or in the mornings that makes you, be in this space? How do you end up there? And I think this is a good message because so many people are missing out on opportunities by being in that space. I can't tell you how many opportunities I've had by connecting to people I never knew or never would have known. I've made so many connections. Funny, I had this conversation this morning with Facebook. They reached out to me. And right, as a community leader, a leader in my community, funny, and
Congratulations.
we had this conversation, and she said that what they do and how they determine, I guess like who they're gonna reach out to and stuff, is they go down your timeline and they, kind of get a feel for what you've been putting out. into the atmosphere. And she said, I saw just so much of, positivity, motivation, inspiration, things like that on your page. And she said, it was crazy how it was year after year after day after day. And I, right. And she was like, so what are your challenges? Like, do you have any?
And it's
And
you
I was like,
choosing.
yeah.
Yeah, but you choosing to, do I want to,
Mhm.
people don't realize spirits are very real. And
Mhm.
you can choose to operate in the true divine sweet spirit that you were made to be, or you
Mhm.
can choose to let another spirit to come in you, because people, you hear it, well, I did that, I don't know why I did it. Well, they made you
Right.
this. They made another spirit come into you. You are admitting it. People don't realize that they make you. When they make you do something, that means that you're letting them say hello to the person that's making them. Because at the end of the
Right.
day, nobody can't make you do anything. And
That's true.
when you see shows on TV like Snapped and all that, what do you think that comes from? People are, oh, I would never imagine you could do this. You have to be very in tune and mindful, because you could allow something to come in. So starting your day off, allowing something to come in, that's your first mistake. That is your very
Yeah.
first mistake. Really identifying, okay, I see you. What is this? What is happening right now? Paying
Mhm.
attention to that, you won't have to worry about that. But being consistent with joy, you can't fake that.
Yeah.
That's why when it's so funny when you said that, just something I saw, it was so funny, but it was so true. Like, oh, you woke up and chose violence today. It's a choice.
Right.
Definitely a choice. What you
Mhm.
want? It was about a baby that was so cute, but it's like it really is a choice. You want to say that this is the day that God has made. You're gonna rejoice. You're gonna be glad. You're gonna walk in it. You're gonna have joy. You're gonna, if it's raining, you're gonna enjoy the trees are shaking. You're gonna see them dancing. Like, you have a choice to look at something, because at the end of the day, two people can look at the same thing. One could choose to see something negative, and one could choose to see something positive. So it's all about choices daily. That's another thing, balancing and having it all. You can have it all, and to someone else you broke, but
Yeah.
it's your all. It's all about
Yeah.
your choices and what makes you feel happy. And so it's
Mhm.
very too key and important to people who are looking to have it all, to embrace the all that you have currently. Have gratitude in that, enjoy where you are, so that you can enjoy the journey of going to higher heights and more abundance. Enjoying it right now in the present. Because if you don't, you'll get there and then you'll be looking back like, oh, how did I get here? I want this. I want this too,
Right.
So
Mhm.
that's that for me. I not look like take my head off, like my wig off to you to say congratulations on that, because that's
Thank you.
you choose every day to say, I'm gonna choose joy. I'm gonna choose to use this platform to encourage women and show women. And again, you can use us. A lot of people have. I don't have love in my life. I don't have this. I'm working
Mhm.
so hard. I'm so mad. No, you're
Right.
choosing to operate in that. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So it's all about choices, and realize that you're all right where you are, and that everything else is a bonus. Everything else is just overflow. Because we keep chasing things, thinking it's, oh, I gotta get more, I gotta get more. You
Mhm.
never get more.
Mhm. Yeah.
The ultimate more is hearing, well done, my good and faithful servant. Like, that's the
Right.
ultimate more for me. That's what I'm
Right.
looking for. So just really being present, showing up,
Mhm.
showing up. And again, I'm going to keep saying this: getting your calendar in order, and having those blocks for you and dating, like those, and don't try to squeeze, time for you and dating together. It's still you're still doing too much.
Mhm.
But giving yourself some more time. Like, you might have somebody on here right now say, "Oh, she's looking for a date, y'all."
Okay, I'm gonna be all in my DMs. Uh-uh. But it is so good that you said that people can see, and this is something that happened to me very recently. Two people can see something, and it looks different to both of them. I was taking down the packages for the boutique. I was taking them down. The mail lady comes and I meet her down at the mail room. I'm taking them down. And she was in there almost in tears. And, I'm asking her like why. She said, oh, they gave her a double route. She, I guess was overworked. She said they're supposed to work 7 to 8 hours, but they gave her a 14-hour route. And she said the manager wouldn't ride with her because he doesn't like her. But she said he wouldn't ride with her because he kept saying, because COVID, nobody's getting in the car with you. Like, I'm not going to ride with you. And it was funny because I go down to the mailroom and I'm excited. It represents gifts and love and things, packages coming for me. And when she goes into the mailroom, it represents pain, agony, tears, frustration. And I'm like, wow, here we are standing in this same space, this same room. And it's two totally different things for us. She was crying. And I'm like, wow, because we look at things as, we get so busy sometimes and productive, and we look at things with our own eyes. And that's one of the things I feel like God blessed me with, to look at things in other people's eyes and from different perspectives. Even though I have an opinion, I still always say, you know what, let me step back. If I was on the other side of this, how would I feel? And I think that's good to be able to do. And I've seen you do that in a few situations, to where I feel like you could have you were in a situation, or you may have been in a space to where it was something going on around, but you've been able to step up and be Jayda, the friendly, the joy, the party, the ball of fire, so to speak, and chaos was going on around you. So how do you feel like you manage that emotion?
One, I'm always like, I don't want to fail God. Like, that's my biggest thing. People say you have a fear. Like, I have no fear. That is one. That is the one thing that I feel that, because when I look, like, even just yesterday, I got a call, a friend of mine who had the same childhood. We all had situations in our family. Um, and this friend is another fallen friend who has no longer here now due to the streets, drug addiction. And for me, when I say failing God, it doesn't mean like, this assignment that I'm going to assignment or whatever. Like, I'm not using my gifts, but I look at my gifts in such a way that one, I was a team mom, dropped out of high school, never went to college. I've like come from poverty, and here God gave me this beautiful mind, like this mind to create things, this mind to travel the world, this mind to see something small and create something so big, this mind that has a power that I'm in awe sometimes. I'm in awe. I'm like, wow. Listen, my mind is just blank because I'm about to cry right now. Hey, money. This girl, he gave me. I see something. She was a teenager in church, singing home out of voice, and I told myself, I'm gonna have this. Together some stuff. I'm gonna have this girl, and they're gonna be saving me, and we're gonna destroy the world because I saw it. Sometimes I'll see things that I'll see, but I don't get the whole picture. But now she's touring the world with Tasha Cobb. Like, just that's what I love. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why would I feel God on going into something negative, joining people who aren't happy? Just why would I do that? Like, right. I know he looking at me like, girl, you too much. You be playing around with me. Like, are you serious right now?
Yeah.
So for me, excuse me, that's the thing that pushes me and keeps me in line. Because excuse me, I know this is not Jayda. Like, this is. I know this is not Jayda. Like, this is not something that I can. Excuse me. So I don't. Excuse me.
Are you okay?
I don't Yeah, yeah.
And I think that's
When I get
yeah,
this
yeah.
up,
I
man,
think when I get
come on,
up
this week with the back.
come on, just speak with the back.
Listen, I feel like I was about to cry.
I feel like I
Then it
have
didn't
to
come, so I guess
It didn't
it's
come. So I guess
sorry.
that way.
Mhm.
But
That's just
that's just
where I am,
where I
and
am,
that's
and that's
motivation
what the
is, and that's
motivation
how
is.
I
That's
don't
how I don't
get caught in
get
because
caught in
it's
because
not
it
that I
is
think I'm this
that
or
I
I
think
think I'm
I'm
that.
this,
I
I think
know
I'm
who I
that,
am
I
in
know
God.
who I am
I
in
know who
God.
I am in
Right.
I know
Christ.
who I am in Christ.
Because of
So
knowing
because
that,
of knowing that,
that is the
that is the
motivation
motivation
for
for
me. That's what
that.
pushes
What
me.
pushes
That's
me.
what
That's
keeps
what
me
keeps me
on
on
the journey that I'm
the
on.
journey that I'm on.
And I'm always
And
saying,
I'm always
despite
saying,
you
despite
come out,
you come
I'm
out,
always
I'm
saying,
always saying,
despite.
despite.
Oh, thank
Oh, thank
you.
you.
Told you.
Told you.
Prom.
Prom.
Thank you.
That is
No
too
more
sweet.
prom. No more
No
proms.
more prom.
No more
Right.
proms.
No more prom.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
God.
But
But you
it's
know,
it's that
it's
that
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 reminder
Mhm.
that
that
even when it
even when
like
it
I feel like
like I
I'm
feel like I'm
just
just
not doing
not
nothing.
doing
That
nothing.
I
That
yeah,
I
Mhm.
yep,
then I'm like,
then I'm like,
no,
no,
God's
God,
got something in
got
you
something in
that
you
needs to
that
be
Mhm.
needs
out.
to be
You need
out.
to make
You
sure
need
that
to
you're
make
on
sure
it.
that
So
you're on it. So
that's my motivator
that's my
right there.
motivator right there.
It's funny because everything you said sums up to much is given, much is required. And that can be a withdrawn road. I'm not going to say lonely because I don't ever really feel alone. Like I have great people in my circle. I feel very blessed for my siblings. I feel very blessed for my close friends, my family. I have a lot of love around me, and they've been very understanding when it comes to like the much is given, much is required. I feel like God gave me gifts and made me very, very different than
Mhm.
everybody else that I know. And not to say that anybody else is not blessed. I'm blessed to be around. Me and my sister laughed about this the other day, but our family has a talent. We have WNBA, NFL, NBA, and you have families,
Oh wow.
right? And you have families who are trying to get one of those.
Yeah.
We have musicians in our family. We have just a
Wow.
very, right.
Anointed. Wow.
Right. And my grandmother was an evangelist. So, I came from a long line of prayer and faith and stuff. And so we were laughing about this the other day about everybody being so gifted, but we all carry our gifts in a way that I think it pushed the next gift forward. And I feel like my grandmother had a gift and she passed it down to her children and they passed it down to the grand. And it's like it's just a never ending ball that keeps
Legacy.
rolling.
Wow. You talk about
So
legacy. Wow.
right. I'm like, wow, thinking about what my grandmother may have thought in her, you know, way back when, who knows what she prayed about or thought about, but just saying how powerful the walk is. And we're carrying the torch for the next generation. We don't know what that's going to be. And I think that you're setting a great example and you're building in the midst of building a humongous legacy that you're going to leave behind one day. And this is what it looks like. Many people think that, the Rosa Parks and the Martin Luther Kings, like they knew or thought that they were building this monumental thing. And I don't think it's ever that way. I believe that they just walked in their purpose and they did what was required of them. And it might have looked weird. It might have looked alone at the time. And many people didn't understand it. But then you have flash forward 50 years later. And now it's like, oh my gosh, this is what was going on. And you said something at the beginning where you said you were ahead of your time. I feel like that's how it starts. I feel like I was ahead of my time too because I've always hung out with very older people. I've dated older people. All of my clients as a makeup artist were older. So I've just always attracted older people and I've always been, so to speak, ahead of my time. And I think that that's something that we don't talk about enough. Many people brush those gifts under the table because it's the unbeaten path. And it's like, oh, I'm all the way over here alone. Nobody's over here. It's nobody to bounce ideas off of. Nobody to, nobody to like share this gift with, because you feel like like the giraffe in the room, because you're carrying all of these gifts and talents, and you don't really. Nobody understands that if they're not like in that space, and trying to find another giraffe can be difficult.
Listen, listen. That's for me. Don't worry about the other giraffes. listen,
Mhm.
because in the zoo, there's other animals. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? For me, it's like, I mean, you know me.
Mhm.
I do things that many people will be like, "What are you doing? You're weird. You're this and you're that." I like to go. I like to run. First of all, I do
Mhm.
all things that these black girls don't do. You
Right.
know, so I will lay in the park and go to sleep. Like that's just who I am and what I want to do. So
Mhm.
once you get that out of your head, that one, even if you're a twin, you still had a few minutes before your other twin came out to be in this world on your own. So
Yeah.
standing on your own feet is very key and very important and being who you are unapologetically. Like it doesn't
Mhm.
matter if people are gonna look at you strange, they're gonna think you're strange. I don't give a damn. I don't let them know you don't start singing. They know, listen. That's one of my traveling with Neyo. And I can't sing. I know I can't sing, but I love to sing. He's the sound man. I'm always gonna teach him how to sing. I know this is not a gift that I wanted to have because I've been trying for years and it has happened. But like you said about the giraffe, be who you're called to be unapologetically. Like people, they know when they see me, I'm gonna start singing. That's part of
Mhm.
my
Right.
like being who you are unapologetic. I love you too, Lord. I miss you so much. Like just being who you are unapologetically and standing in that because that allows you to have so much freedom and you're gonna try and you won't be afraid anymore. You're gonna do what you're called to do. Like once you do that, you're fearless. A lot of people hide behind themselves. They think it's the imposter syndrome. They think it's fear. They think it's all this other stuff. No, you're hiding from yourself because it doesn't matter what the world says. It's
Mhm.
about who you are and what you do because at the end of the day, hidden inside of you is so much intelligence that you may even understand aware of. Like
Yeah.
you find yourself being who you're called to be no matter what. Like my friend, she know I love decorating. She know I love DIY projects.
Mhm.
Who knew that I would learn how to use a wet saw and do her whole kitchen? Like I did her whole kitchen, the backsplash, like I mixed the cement up. Like it was
Oh
crazy.
my gosh.
But again, you don't know who you are until you try something. But I was like, one day I was like, wait, how much money? I was like, you paid $3,000 for just a backsplash.
Right.
Really? But until you try, you never know. And so one, we have to take two things out of our minds. The lies that we told ourselves, the lies that other
Mhm.
people have told us. Because so
Yep.
many people are just holding on to what someone else said about them, or the limitations that someone else put on them. They're not moving forward because of that. They could be so gifted. There's a movie out here that was saying that the graveyard has all the talent. The good thing about
Mhm.
people in this, I can't even say generation because it's all different age groups. But in this
Mhm.
time, they're not,
Yeah.
they're letting things go unchecked. And it really hurts me because especially when the pandemic came and opened the door for everyone who had been lying dormant for years, who had been
Yep.
hiding behind talent for years, who have been fear, who thought they had money to start something, people online saying, "Oh, I need to, I want to do this. This is what I'm good at." Did it? People spending money to make it happen. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So this is it's here, right? You still have time. Like there's not. You still have time to operate in who you are supposed to be unapologetically. Like you think about the things that people laugh at, but this top, the bottle and the
Right.
top was not made at the same time. Somebody came up with this. Somebody came up with this, and here these people here are billionaires. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So nothing is stupid. Nothing is
Yeah.
small. You got clowns. Clowns make money. Some people can't
Yeah.
stand clowns. Some people pay for clowns. So
Right.
if you're not hurting people, I feel like that's when we have an issue when you're hurting
Right.
people, you're bringing out blood, you're bringing tears, and you're not walking in righteousness, you're not using your gifts. But
Mhm.
you got a gift and it brings joy to someone. and I can't even
and I
speak on
can't even
that.
speak
You
on
got
that.
people
You
who
got
think
people
that's
who
stuff,
think
but
that's
again,
stuff,
that's
but again,
darkness,
that's darkness,
and
and
I
I
don't
don't
do
do darkness.
darkness. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? But if you
But if
have a
you have a
gift,
gift,
operate in it. Don't worry about what somebody's going
don't
to say.
worry
Don't
about
worry
what
about
somebody's
if,
gonna say. Don't worry
you
about
know,
if,
my mom
oh,
was going to
you
be a
know, my
doctor,
mom wants to be a
and
doctor,
don't do
and
that
Right.
don't do that
because you find
because
so
you
many
find
people,
so many
and
people,
know,
and you
you
all
know
know,
that
like you know that
feeding the homeless
feeding
is
the
my thing.
homeless is my thing. When I'm feeding them,
Mhm.
I'm talking to them.
I have met
I have
so
met
many
so many
people,
people,
especially in
especially in
California,
California on Skid Row,
that are
that
out
are
Mhm.
out
there
there
because they
because
didn't
they
live up to
didn't
the
live up to the
expectations that
expectations
someone
that
had
someone
on
had
them,
on them,
that they
Yeah.
didn't
that they
follow
didn't follow
on the
through
dream
on
of
the dream
someone
of
else,
someone
and so
else.
because
And
of
so
Mhm.
that,
because of
they got
that, they
addicted
got
to
addicted
drugs,
to drugs,
got in the
got
streets, and
into
then the rest of their
the
story
rest of
was written
their
that
story
way.
was written that
Don't
way.
Right.
look. We have to
Don't
stop
look, we
doing
have
that,
to
and
stop
I
doing
don't
that.
even
And
do that
I don't
for
do
my
that like
kids.
for my
Like at the end
kids.
of the
Like at the
day,
end
Yeah.
of the day,
we have their
we
own
have
mindset.
their
We're
own
supposed
mindset.
to
We're
do
supposed to
what
do
we have to
what
do
we
for them,
have
make
to
sure
do
that
for them,
they're
make sure
covered, make sure that
that
they're
Mhm.
disciplined in the
discipline
process. But if you feel like this is today, you want to be this, and then
this,
oh,
and then oh,
my daughter changed her
you gotta
major
change
three
her age
times.
3 times.
I'm not one
Mhm.
of
I'm
those
not one of
parents.
those
Oh, you can
parents.
stick to
Oh,
it.
you can stick to
No.
it. No.
Then
Right.
I'm gonna have
No.
them
Then I'm gonna have to
graduate
graduate
college
college
miserable, not
miserable,
liking what they're
do
doing
Right.
what
because
they do
I
because
feel
I
like I had to
feel
put
like I
my
have to put
beliefs and
my
my
beliefs
thoughts
and my thoughts
into her
into
mindset.
my mindset.
No, we have to
No,
stop
we
that.
have to
And
stop
we
that.
have
And we
adults
have
who are
adults
still
who
letting
are
people
still letting
dictate
people
who
dictate
they are.
who
And I
they
feel
are. And
bad
I feel
because like
bad
you're never
because like
gonna
you're
live
never gonna live
until you
Mhm.
until
release
you
those
release
things and
those
release
things and
what
release
other
what
people are
other people are
projecting on you.
projecting on
Like
you. Like
people are gonna have
people want to
opinions, and
have
that's
opinions,
okay.
and that's
It's
okay.
the difference
It's
between
the difference between
criticism and
criticism
opinion.
and opinion.
Criticism,
Right.
constructive
Constructive
criticism
criticism
you
is
can
something
take
that you can
for
take
what you're
for
working
what you're
on.
working on.
But if someone is
But
trying
if
to
someone
take
is
you
trying to
off
take
of the
you
path
off
that
of
you
the
know is
path
for
that you
you,
know is for you,
then that person
then
really
that
don't need
person
to be
really
in
don't
your
need to
life.
be in your life.
And then you got
Right.
And then you
people
got
who are
people who are
here.
here.
There's
There's
like
like
the story
the
of you know
story
the
of
story of
another
Martha
story of
and Martha.
Martha and Martha.
Like
Mhm.
one
Like
one was just there to
one
sit,
one was
one
there
was
to
just to
sit,
work.
one was
So
there just to
that's
work. So
definitely not
I'm definitely
big
not
on our
big on
understanding
our
when
understanding when
people
people
quit your
say quit
job
your
and
job and become an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
Everybody's not
Everybody's
meant to
not
be
meant
an
to be an
entrepreneur.
entrepreneur.
That's just the way
That's
it
just the
Yeah.
is.
way it is.
Some
Some
people are
people
Yeah.
are
called
called to
service
do
work.
service
Some
work.
people are called to do
Some people are called
CNA
to do
work. Like
they work like
that's just what
they're
they're
just
here
that's
to do.
what
But
they're
my
here
goal
to do.
is to
But
help
my goal
them
is to
all
help them
just to have
all just to
peace
have
in your
peace in
purpose.
your
Because at
purpose.
the end of the day,
Because
your
at the end
purpose
of the day,
can
your
be
purpose
whatever.
is whatever.
Like the lady
Like the lady
from
from
the
the the
male lady who
the
you
mail
saw. Like
so
we would have
like
a
Mhm.
we would have a
conversation. Like,
conversation
is
like
this really where
this
you
is
want to
really
be?
where you
Because
want to
when
be
you're in your purpose, because there are people who
because when
love
you're
being male ladies and male
in
men.
your
They could get 20 hours a day and they won't complain because that's what their heart is. That's what their soul is. So really doing the things
there are
that make
people
you happy. Because if you're happy,
who
you're
love
gonna do it every day for free.
being male
So
lady.
really
Mhm.
walking purpose is so key and so important.
Oh gosh. It
Listen,
is.
you had a few people that were asking you on there. Please, please, please be saving this.
And I cannot save it. It just deletes. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna add it back. Hold on. Oh man. Hold on. Instagram is so finicky.
Whack.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's what I like.
Hopefully we can get everybody back over on Instagram. Oh my gosh. This is a nightmare. Okay, everybody, we are so sorry. This keeps getting disconnected through Instagram. No fault of our own. We apologize. We have no way to get the previous video back. So what I would do is probably have to share it back over to Instagram. So I do apologize, everyone. Hold on, let me get you back up here. Okay, and it should let you connect or reconnect. Okay. All right. But yes, I agree with everything because I think entrepreneurs underestimate
Mhm.
the walk. Like it's a very this is see employees. This is something that I really want to say because many people, like you said, want to quit their 9 to 5s. And I'm not even talking about the money. I'm not talking about the discipline or any of that. Before you even have any of that, it comes with a lot of being an individual. When you're an employee, you
Yeah.
go to lunch with others, you might talk to other people at work. It
Yeah.
comes with a lot of solitude. You're going to be
Yes.
by yourself a lot because everything isn't for everyone. And so
Yeah.
there's going to be times where you're going to live your dreams and you have to go to this meeting by yourself. You have to learn this by yourself, research that by yourself. And it's not always like a friend or tag along type of thing. Everybody is an individual. If we come back together, great. But many people don't have the know-how or the courage to walk alone. And if I could say one thing that is huge for being an entrepreneur outside of the money, outside of making a plan and all of that, just being able to walk alone when it's hard, when it's, frustrating, when you don't know what to do, when you don't understand, when you don't have a clue, when you don't know how to use your gifts and talents. When all of that is going on, still being able to walk forward, because people are going to laugh at you. Most entrepreneurs have failed at something before, or quit, or something, hasn't worked for them. And they had to reroute. And that's just the nature of the beast. And being able to still walk amongst your peers and say, you know what, this didn't work, but I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to give up. I'm going to walk like fine, in front of all of you. Yeah, it didn't work, but look, this is my new thing over here.
Exactly. People should know that the P in entrepreneurship stands for perseverance. Like, you have to have perseverance, because if you don't, then your back is going to be against the wall. Like, you're going to have these emotions. You're going to worry about what this one thinking, what that one thinking. But when you build that skin that comes with it, and you're like, okay, again, not failing God. And you know that this is what it's called for you to be. So that's the reason why it was very important to say that don't just quit your job, because you may be putting someone in from where God has called them to be. Like, you saw, again, with this pandemic, the people who were really important, who really mattered, like nurses and the doctors, like those people, and the ones who were still there, you knew that they were called to be. They had something to quit. I'm gone. Like, it's too much. But you had the ones who were crying with these families, bringing messages back, putting notes under bed. Like, you saw people who were going to work. Like, I'm just going to work just so that the old lady can get some milk in the morning. Like, there were so many stories that were coming out like that, and it's like I kept thinking about it. Like, Lord, what if everybody was just an entrepreneur?
Right.
Done.
Right.
What done this pandemic? So purpose is about being who you were created to be. That's point blank, period. A lot of people have attached purpose with entrepreneurship. And what's they're attached to that, or they're attached to being on TV, becoming a celebrity. No, purpose is who you're supposed to be, and walking in that thing genuinely, because you would have, like, I will never forget, I was in the hospital for 4 days. I had a really, really bad kidney infection, and we're still friends. Kim, lady named Kim on Facebook. She was the dietitian lady who come and check your lunch, see what you want to get. And it was like every time she came into my room in the hospital, it was like the doctor was coming in, because it was like she was bringing me the medicine that I needed for the pain that I was in. Her spirit was just, it was like angelic. I would have, had I not became Facebook friends with her, I would have thought she was an angel on earth that just came. Because I've met a few of those who look like they're gone.
Right.
But she was a real life person that was operating in her purpose, and that's just what she do. And so it's very key that we bring that to the forefront. Like, stop attaching to entrepreneurship. Stop attaching to all these things. Attach to your heart.
Yeah.
Attach to your soul of who you're supposed to be, and operating in that. And that goes in my brand. You can be a brand and be Winn-Dixie's number one employee, because your brand is joy, your brand is customer service. Really understanding that when people say brand, personal brand, that's who you're displaying and who you're consistent with. Like, you cannot sell anything like your presence every day is a part of your brand. So that's why people come with business, because they feel they trust you, they love on you, and it's nothing. People I heard like, they'll call me sister. What?
Right.
From? Where did they come from? And you are doing your part to show that this is this is love.
This
This
is
is
when I say come with this,
it means
it means I want to hold your hand. I want
Right.
to love on you. So
those who have
those who have
eyes
eyes will see, and those who don't,
they
they don't.
But
But
that's
that's
not
not
what
who
we're
we're
here
here
for.
for. We're here for the people that we're called to
bring
bring
a
a light
light
to and
see
see
light.
light.
That's
That's
Right.
what it's about. So
definitely
definitely hands up. Glad you brought that up because that's
key
important.
important. But if
But if you are doing entrepreneurship,
it does
does
come
come to perseverance.
Yeah, and it's funny you say that because I've been reading a lot of posts of people saying they hate the word sis, they hate the word queen. I'm like, what? Like, out of all the things to dislike in the world, you are letting these few words just take you completely under. I think it's like weird, like I don't think there are any words unless you calling me completely out of my name, just completely disrespecting me. I don't think anything bothers me like that. I think people just put too much into menial things. Like I don't think that's big enough.
Something inside of them that likes negativity. Like some people
Yeah.
just like negativity, and if it's something that's bringing light and bringing love, it. I mean, I had to understand this for myself, and I'm
Mhm.
sure
And I'm sure you've had this situation
before.
before. Like
I'm
light,
love,
love,
energy,
energy,
but
Mhm.
but
when
when my presence is
felt,
felt,
I'm going to just
I'm going to
demons.
trust some demons.
Some
So
people may
Yeah.
some
not like
people may not like me.
So you have
So
to understand that not everyone
everyone
is going to
is
see
going to
things
see things
beautiful
as
as you
beautiful
do,
as you do, and they're going to look for ways to come
and try
and
to
poke
poke
at you
what you
Mhm.
what
feel
you
is
feel is the part of your
So
purpose. So once you understand that, it's so much easier to understand. And they're so funny. This one, two particular people, and it was and
I
I
irritated them
irritated him
like
like
crazy.
crazy.
And
And one day was so funny, and I
laughed
just laughed so hard.
She was
Uh,
doing
doing
sage.
stage.
She was
Oh
doing
my.
sage.
Doing stage.
Not for me, that was her thing.
Oh.
It was just her
Mhm.
thing. So it was so funny. I was like, ma'am,
like
that needs to
that
be
needs to be
inward.
inward.
Right.
That needs to be inward. But it's a lot of people, it has become such a real life to them that is normal. Like you may think, well, this person is so nasty and so negative, and they think that they are sunshine and roses.
But
They
that's how they
operate.
operate.
So you
So
have
you
to
have to
just
just
again,
again
you can accept
you can
people
accept
for
people for who they are and just let this is not for me.
This is not
Mhm.
this is not where
I
I'm
need
at.
to be at.
I need to
I need to
eliminate
eliminate
myself, and again,
and again,
peace.
peace.
Mhm.
If I
If I gotta
continue
continue this,
not my
this
peace,
is not
then
my peace, then I'm compromised.
and that's something
Right.
And that's something I'm not gonna do. So when you
know,
know,
like
it's
okay.
it's okay. But
Mhm.
It's
it's
people
just
out
people
here
out
that
here
wake
that
up.
wake
Like you
up.
wake up
Like
saying, "Ooh, how
you
can I
wake
be
up
joy
saying,
today?"
"Oh, how can I
There's
be
something
joy
wrong
today?"
with it.
There's something
How
wrong with it.
can
Ooh,
I,
how can I,
do something
do
Right.
something to somebody?
And let me
Like,
tell you,
and let me tell you, this is stories have happened to me three times to date.
and I could try,
And I could try,
but three
but
times
three
I've done
times
something
I've done
where
something where
you know
like
how
you
people
know how
people
blow the horn,
you
you
and
get
you're
in
doing
their
something,
lane and you're doing
Mhm.
something, or
you make
you
them
you make
nervous.
them nervous.
I feel like
And
I
I
can't do
feel
it
like I can't
now
do it now
because now the
now
culture
the
is
culture is
so
so
dangerous. People
dangerous.
you don't know what can
You
happen.
don't know what
But
can happen.
Right.
But I would
like almost
almost run these
down,
people
like
down,
blowing
like
the
blowing
horn.
the horn because they didn't
Gave me the
give me
bird.
the
They didn't
bird,
cuss
they
me
didn't
out.
cuss me out.
I didn't hit the gas trying to catch up to them.
Try to catch up
So
to them.
one lady, she was like,
And one
you
lady,
used
she
to
was
look
like,
at me
you
like
look at
almost a mile.
like
I was
almost a
like,
mile. I was like, Lord, I
I
gotta
gotta catch you.
get
So
you.
they
I
probably
gotta
looked
catch
at
you.
me. I'm
And so they probably looked at me
like, because I feel like I'm not about to be
because
the
I
reason
feel
this
like I'm
person
not
has
about
a
to be
bad
the
day. You
reason
know what I'm
this
saying?
person
Like,
has a
Right.
bad day.
that
You know what
was
I'm
Right.
saying? Like I
this
knew that it was
happened.
my fault
I'm
that
not
this
about to be
happened.
the reason.
I'm not
And
about
so
to be the reason.
Mhm.
And so even in the times like that's just who I
But then
am.
there's people
But
who
then
will do
there's
stuff
people
to
who will
you,
do something to you and give you the finger and get mad.
I'm not gonna receive that either.
I'm not gonna receive that either. Like
you
Right.
all that, like
you doing all that like
look
but
for people
they
to
look for people to
deposit into.
deposit into me. Look for
Mhm.
people who they can make your day miserable.
We are trying to
When here we are trying to make sure
people.
we don't use other
You
people.
know
So
that
when you know
it
that
just helps. for me, it just helps my
for me, it
journey.
just helps my journey.
I'm
not,
I'm first
not,
off, I'm
I'm
not
first off
here
not
to
here
frustrate
to
anybody. I'm
frustrate
not
anybody.
here
I'm
to
not
make
here to
anybody
make
else
anybody else
crazy.
like crazy.
And I'm not
And
gonna
I'm not
receive
gonna receive
nobody else.
nobody else. Like we go through emotions, but
you heard you say
you heard
I don't stay anywhere. Like
they
you know
go
what I'm saying?
through.
Like
I don't stay anywhere.
you
Like
know,
Right.
you know,
I mean here like this
that's
world
why
is not
we
my
hear like this
home.
world is not my home.
People
Mhm.
not understanding what
People
that means.
not
I don't think
understanding what
real
that
meaning of
means,
it.
the real meaning of it. But I feel
World
like
is not my
this
home.
world is not
I'm
my
not
home, so
gonna
I'm not going to
engage
engage
fleshly
in
warfare.
fleshly warfare
Mhm.
when I'm just
Beautiful
walking in
spirit.
beautiful
So
spirit. So
Right.
you can't give
you're
me
gonna
home
you
to
can't
your
give me
home
come
because
to your home
you're
because
Right.
you're
that
operating in something that
I
I
don't
don't
speak
speak that
language. So
language.
when you
Mhm.
know
So when you know the
speak,
language that you speak,
you know,
you
it's
know,
like how
it's like how
for me,
I can't speak
Spanish. You know,
Spanish, and it was like every
they always think
they
of
always
Spanish.
think
They
of
think I'm
Spanish. They think I'm
Dominican. They think
Dominican. They think
all
all
these
these different things. So they're
no,
like, no, like
no. So
like
me,
no. So for
darkness,
me,
I don't speak
dark.
them. No,
I don't
I don't
no,
understand.
I
No,
don't
no darkness.
understand.
I
No,
don't
no,
know what
no, no.
that
I know
means.
which
What you're
end
talking
means
about.
what you're
And
talking
I'm not
about,
gonna
and
try
I'm
to
not gonna
speak
try
that
to
language
speak that
barrier. You know,
language.
so
You know, so
knowing who you
knowing
are,
who you
standing
are,
on that
standing on that
is
is
key
very
for me.
key for me
That's
because
what they
that's
do.
just what they do. They wake up in the morning looking to slay.
I agree. And I think that's another personality trait that hinders a lot of people. Because if you're going to be successful, many people want, whatever success looks like to everybody, it's, very different, obviously. But if you're going to hit the higher levels, you have to take a different level of you there. Like, I can't be the same me that I was 10 years ago and want to get to the same place. Like, we have to develop, we have to grow. And a part of that is tapping into things and being very self-aware and being very outside of being self-aware, being very alert to surroundings so that we don't tap into things that pull us down and being able to manage emotions. I think that is a very underrated skill that is necessary. So many people don't know how to manage their emotions.
Yeah, so that's my thing with
And
that's why I started crying when I saw the little girl,
That's why I
one who
started
came
crying when I
on,
saw
because that's one of my
on
things,
came on
especially with
because that's
girls
one
that
of
I
my things,
mentor.
especially with
We are
girls
going
that I
to deal
mentor.
with
We are going to deal with
and
emotions.
one thing
And
they
one thing they used to
could not
stand,
stand,
like one of the things that
I do is
I do is
I show
I
them the
show them
old
the
school
old
puppets,
school puppets,
how
Mhm.
like
crazy they
how
used to look,
crazy they
you
used
know
to look,
how
like how
you see it. I'm
you
like,
see
this
it. I'm
is
like,
you.
this is you.
Every
Mhm.
time
Every time you say
doing
someone's
something,
doing you
this
something,
is you.
this is you. This is you.
Right.
Talking about
Or
they,
they
or
started with
they
me.
started with
I
me.
was like, they're
Right.
controlling you. They're putting you
They're
in.
Right.
So
really
it's something,
it's
especially seeing
something,
so many
especially
young
seeing so many
girls
young girls
being
Mhm.
being incarcerated, getting shocked, getting to these altercations because
Mhm.
they're not being taught at a
age
young age
handle
how
their
to
emotions.
handle their
Some of
emotions.
us
Some
are
of us
blessed
are
to
blessed
grow
to
with these
with
emotions,
these emotions,
and it just
and
follows
it
us.
just
But
follows us.
some
But
Mhm.
some
of us
of us,
have to be
we have
taught
to be
and
taught
want to
and want to
learn.
learn.
It's like you
It's like
say,
you say,
also
also
figuring out what side you
figuring
want to
out what
play on.
side you want to play on because
There are
they
many successful people with negative attitudes, with
Yeah.
they, very many, and I've
very
met
many,
many, and
many,
you'll
and
wonder
you'll
like
wonder like
how, but you
how, but
gotta
you gotta
understand both
understand both
sides, dark
sides, dark
and
and
light.
light.
They're both
They're both
taken
taken
care of.
care of.
Like
Mhm.
when you
When you
realize
realize
that, that will
that
help
will
your
help
journey,
journey,
understanding this
understanding
whole
this whole
spiritual
spiritual
warfare,
warfare, whole
spirits
spirits
we're
that we're
dealing with
dealing with out
out
Mhm.
here.
here, because
Because
both
both
we're
sides,
gonna we're
we're
dealers.
gonna,
We want
we
peace
want
with
peace
it.
with
We
it.
want
We want
joy with
joy
it.
with it.
They don't
Mhm.
They
care
don't
about
care about
they don't care
they don't care
peace. They
about
just
they
want
just
the
want
money.
the
They
money.
want to treat
They want
people
to
how
treat
they want
people
to
how they
treat
want to
people,
treat
but they
people,
have
but
no
they
rest
have
at
no rest
night.
at night.
Mhm.
They're not
They're
happy.
not happy.
And when you
And
look at it,
look at it,
for me,
for
it
me,
makes me
that
don't
makes me
ever
not
be
want
like
to
that
ever be
because
like
I
that
want
because I
Right.
want peace.
I
I
want joy.
want joy.
So it's
Mhm.
So
definitely
it's
a
definitely a
conversation
conversation
that needs to
that
have
needs to
happen,
happen.
handling your emotions. But
How
when you
emotions,
show
but
people
when you
that
show
their
people that
emotions
their
are
emotions
spirits,
are spirits,
then that will
then
make you.
that
When
would
I
make
learned
I learn
that
that
emotions
emotions
are
are
spirits,
spirits.
I
I
fight like
fight
hell
like hell
to not let a
Mhm.
to
spirit come
not
in,
let a spirit come in
because you can
because
get to a
you can
point
get to a
whereas when
point
you
to
find
where
them,
you
oh,
find
I
them,
don't remember,
oh,
or
I
I
don't
blanked
remember, or
out,
I blanked
because
out
you're not
because
Mhm.
operating
you're
in
not
you
operating
anymore.
in you anymore.
You're
You're
operating in another
operating in
spirit.
another spirit.
Mhm.
So
So
knowing
knowing
that
that
it's not just emotion, just an emotion, but it's an actual spirit that you're engaging with. That should make you want to say, let me fix that because I don't need to visit this. I don't
Right.
need another spirit coming inside of
we hear that
dealing with
we
that.
wrestle not with flesh and
Hear that
blood.
we wrestle
That is the stuff
not
that
with
you're
flesh and
wrestling with
blood.
every day.
That is the
Which
stuff that
spirit
we wrestle with
I'm
every
gonna
day.
take the spirit of
Which
God in
spirit
me,
I'm
I'm
going
gonna
to
go
the
ahead
spirit of
and
God in
start.
me, or I'm gonna go ahead
It's
and start.
totally up to you.
It's
So
totally up
I
to you.
feel like
So
when
I
people ask
feel
me,
like
how do you
people
stay
ask
happy
me,
all
like,
the time?
how
How
do
do you
you
stay
stay happy all
joy?
the time? How do
That's
you
the spirit
joy?
that I chose.
That's
That's
the
the
spirit
spirit
that I
that I
chose.
want to
That's the
operate
spirit
in.
that I want to operate in.
It
So
definitely needs to
it
be
definitely
handled and broken
handled
down
and broken
and
down
come from
and
the way of
come
the way
from
the
the
church
way
made
the
us like the
church made us like the
boogeyman.
boogeyman.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
Right.
So that more
so that
people
more
can
people can
identify these
identify
things
these
and
things
know how to
and know how to
operate.
operate.
Once
Once
you realize
you realize
that is not a
that it's not
boogeyman,
a
this is a
boogeyman,
real
this is
life
a
thing that
real
we're
life thing
dealing
that
with
we're
out in
dealing
this
with out in
world.
this world,
So many
so
people
many
will
people will
operate in
operate
order.
in
So
order.
many
So
people.
many
I agree with that. I think another thing to add to that is, so on our journeys, because we change so many different times. I think at the beginning of our journey we're one way, the middle of the journey we're something else, and by the end, because we keep shifting, and then roles shift and industries shift and things like that. But I think another thing that should be added to that is waking up with intent. I think one of the things that I do, which makes my day a little different, and I don't know if somebody watching this may be able to take this away, but every morning when I wake up, I just, I say my prayers, I say my affirmations and things like that, but I always ask myself, God, what will you have me do today? Who will I serve? Who will I help? Because if if I wake up with intent to help people, then I'm looking for that. I'm not looking for the bad parts or the negativity or the other pieces of life that come along, to take us off track. And I think if more people woke up, I think if more people woke up with the intention to help, you'd be on this constant mission, because it's like, before I go to sleep tonight, I have to help somebody. So if I'm moving like that all day, I don't have time to, like, deal with other stuff. I'm looking for somebody to help.
Exactly.
So I think
And
if
that
we
that's a
operate
smile.
in intent.
and that simple
Mhm.
as a smile.
Hmm?
No, I'm saying that could
I
be
didn't hear
something
you. What did
simple
you
as
say?
a
No,
smile.
that
Somebody just giving somebody a
as a
smile
smile.
throughout the
Right.
day.
Mhm.
It's something that's
Smile
so
throughout the
simple.
day.
It's
Like,
not this
something that's so
big. Like,
simple. It's
for
not this
everyone is
big.
different.
Like, for
Everyone
everyone
has the
is
power to
different.
do that.
Mhm.
Everyone has the
So
power to do that. So
Right.
definitely have that.
definitely
It needs
have
to
that.
be.
It needs to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That because it's like,
Because it's like,
oh,
oh,
Mhm.
no.
no.
And
And
to your point,
to your
like,
point, like,
a lot of people
a
get up in
lot
the
of people
morning
get up in the
and they don't
morning
even,
and they don't even,
not just even
not
asking
just
God,
even
they don't
ask
even
God,
thank
they don't
you.
even say
Thank you for another
thank you for another
Right.
practicing
bad practice and
gratitude.
gratitude.
That thank you is
That thank you is
everything.
everything.
You know what? That's funny you mentioned that, because every morning when I wake up, I thank God for giving me the creativity to create and the opportunity to create every single day, because I realize that is not a gift everybody has. Some people are consumers, others are creators. And I was blessed to be on the creative side. That is a gift. And I had to start being appreciative and grateful for that and operating in gratitude, because
Yes.
hey, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. If you're just joining us, go ahead and drop live down in the comments, drop replay if you catch this on the replay, and share this live to those who you know would take value away from us.
Thank you, beautiful.
Thank you so much. But yeah, I think, I wake up and thank God, for my family, my health, my mindset. That is a lot that people don't have. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. But that's something that people don't have, and then a lot of people don't know how to be grateful, and they don't realize that that's the very reason why you can't get more, because you're not thanking God for what you have. And many people think, oh, I say, thank you every now and again. But the fact that you woke up this morning is gratitude. Just be grateful. If God doesn't do anything else today, I miss you too. If God doesn't do anything else today for me, I'm grateful that I was able to wake up in this element in my right mind with the opportunity to create, and all the days before this that God allowed me to create. And not just that, going forward, because our jobs and gifts and all of this stuff should outlive us. So
Yes.
being here for the amount of space that I've been able to consume, even if I didn't have another minute, thanking God for the time that has already lapsed. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
when I'm no longer here, that stuff gets to outlive me. That's a gift. Many people have died and nobody knows their name. Nobody knows anything about them. You know, we have the tomb of the unknown soldier. People don't even know who was in there. Like, how can you not be grateful for these
Listen,
very, things?
and we get to see it. You and I especially, we get to see so much, and with these platforms and these opportunities, you get to see so
Mhm.
much that there is no reason for you not to be grateful. There's a thing like I say a prayer every time I see someone with like a mental illness or homeless, or just that whole be with them, thank you God for my sound mind, power
Mhm.
of love, because that's something I don't take for granted.
Right.
I had one of my friends. Um, he was staying with us. His mom was sick. She had cancer, and she's in hospice. And when we go there, he was like, "Can you come and pray this?" And so she finally left. And so he was like, "Can you pray, come pray again?" Prayed, and it was him. It was him and my family. And when they were asking the questions, like, so what do you want to do with her body? Like, do you have a funeral set in place? Like, her family, like, all these different questions. He didn't have answers. He didn't have any information to give to. And so I stepped up and paid for the funeral service to make sure they got his mom attention, did all that.
Mhm.
But it was just like, that's such a sad thing to, take your last breath and not have any impact on anybody that
Right.
you're there alone. That's just always when I hear someone die by themselves and like no one is there. It's like, wow, like what impact are you doing? That it's different for soldiers because they're at war and things happen. You're walking this earth, like they should impact at least one person, because it's not just about what you do today, but the impression that you leave is
Mhm.
so important. It's so important. Our favorite Jesus, Mark the King, like you said earlier,
Mhm.
Rosa Parks,
Rosa Parks. Mhm.
all these people, they, if it was just something, I don't know if new it was big, they're known for that. And that's
Mhm.
what the kind of legacy that you want to leave. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to leave a legacy of a gossiper, or
Right.
someone who just have it, different people just not.
Mhm.
I want to leave a legacy of joy and of happiness. All the other stuff is secondary to that.
Right.
That should be the first. That should be the first thing. Like, you don't. First of all, the next moment is home. So
Right.
it makes no sense for you to be having all this heat inside of you and this darkness inside of you, and
Mhm.
then you leave and it's like, oh, we were just arguing this. No, I would never have to put that burden on someone else.
Mhm.
No. So it's so many reasons that is important for light carriers and
Mhm.
people who walk with the light to do that, because some, they're trying to find their way. They're trying to figure out how they can get some light in. I found people like that. Now they're out here. One of the things she always says, I'm just being Jada. But at the end of the day, she's walking her life. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, we might have met when she was in a dark place, but now she's operating in what she needs to be operating. Another thing that brings me to that I don't like
What?
is somebody copying off of you. I want you to copy off of me. I want you. I want you
If
to
it
do
makes you better, do it.
exactly. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, what God has for me is for me, and
Yeah.
you can't take that away. But what I'm doing is influencing you and making you want to do better. Keep that on. all means to it. Like I'm going to sit and figure out how can
Right.
I help you. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's what we want. We want to
Mhm.
see more and more people walking in their light, walking in their
Mhm.
purpose. That's what we're here to do. Like when people realize that, it'll be real good.
I know. It's funny to me how nowadays, a lot of people, like you said, say people are copying them, or people don't want to, work with other people or collaborate. They think they're going to steal their customers. Like, it is insane to believe that anybody can have what belongs to you. We're born with things that belong to only us. And I believe that there's nothing anybody can do to get what belongs to somebody else. It doesn't belong to you. You can't have it. So, it's weird to me that people believe that. And I think that is another form of scarcity mindset. And
Yeah.
that bothers me that not enough people believe that there's enough out there for everyone, that they operate in a place to feel like it's always not going to be enough, or it's just enough for me, or I have to hover over this little piece, or I'm not going to be able to get up ahead or to the next place. But that is very traumatizing to me,
Yes,
because
it
if you feel like that it's only enough for you, how many other people, if everybody felt that way, there would be not enough for anybody.
No, they were
So
not.
I've always thought that was weird, and I hear it so often with people, when it comes time to collaborate. Everybody wants to be, Black Lives Matter and all of this stuff. But when it's time to work together, it's like, oh no, wait a minute. I didn't mean that I was gonna, invite you over here. And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, well, what were we
yeah,
doing over there? It's
exactly,
weird.
exactly. And I think again, that's when you're not operating in your wholeness in who you are.
Mhm.
Because I said earlier, when you came to the event and I came to you like we knew each other for years, when you are so sure that God is not going to send someone to your space that's going to come
Mhm.
and disrupt it, and even if someone creeps through the holes, the cracks some kind of way, they're not going to be able to stay. It just won't happen. They will be exposed, and it won't last at long at all. So instead of operating in fear, operating in sureness, and knowing that, okay, I'm going to collaborate with these people. This is where I fit in. This is where they fit in, and we're going to be great from this. You have no other way but to go, because it's all here first. It's all in our minds. Everything
Mhm.
that we think we can achieve it. Like it's all in our minds. So when you go to, like, I always say that they get mad at me, if you say something that's negative and I'm like, well, yep, it's gonna happen. And since you said it, like you said
Right.
it,
Right.
at the end of the day, like, so just
Mhm.
since you said it, that's what it is. And just even I have to check myself from that. Like, listen, you're the one that always talk about watch what you say. Like, you gotta watch what you
Mhm.
say. Like, even in joking, you have to
Yep.
watch what you say, because it's powerful. So I only speak like, every client that comes to me, I'm gonna pour into everything that I have into him, because that's just what I'm here for. I'm here to do.
Mhm.
I'm not afraid that, oh, I should keep this, not no.
Right.
It's for you. You're going to get it, like, because
Right.
I'm only doing what the assignment. Like, I'm just being ushered into the divine
Mhm.
assignment that's already created. Like you said, we were all born with it. So it's like not. It's not like I'm just a vessel, a
Mhm.
part of the process. That's exactly what that is. And so when you know that and you operate in it, I feel like it can take you to more, to more higher heights. It can just open doors for you, because you never understand what collaborations can do for you, and you never understand just being nice to people, what that can do. I just got a call the other day from the UK. One of the
Mhm.
chefs that I was working with over there, she was calling me and she was like, "Hey, I just wanted to call you. We're getting ready to put together this what did she say? This committee, and it's just, she's UK, bunch of butterflies, creative women who just doing the thing. And so she was like, so I put your name in the hat, like I want you on board. And she was just like, I just love you and your energy. So you just never know from being authentic and being yourself what doors can open from that.
Yeah.
Like just being that, you can see so many opportunities when you hiding and you worried, like what you need to say. And I told this to someone the other day. And it was a session actually, and we were talking, and again, it was like pre-programming. Bless you, pre-programming the incident before the incident could even happen. And I mean, they were gonna just do this, and they're gonna just do this. Hey, Larry, love you. They're gonna just do this, and I'm just looking. And so we're on. I'm like, are you done? Like, are you really? Are you done? Like, you just painted out this entire negative scenario that hasn't even happened yet, and got you like hot because you don't even realize the emotions that's going to happen. And so I said, let's change this. Let's just be grateful for the moment, for what's going on. Let's just be grateful that God is already moving this person out of the situation. And let's just speak that. Let's speak until then you're going to show up and do your part. That's all that you're here for. And so she's like, okay, so we practice for a few days. The end of the week, the person is gone. Like gone. And she's like, what happened? I said, you have the power. God probably been trying to release this person, but because you were always creating these negative energies, it had to act out. What you spoke had to happen because you already said it was going to happen. So once you change the narrative, it's going to be two things going to happen. Either this person's going to move, or God will change their heart, and it'll be a whole new person. You'll be like, what? That's what's going to happen when you continue to stand on your truth and who you are. When you lower your vibration and you lower who you are to join them, you're going to just continue to go through the same process over and over and over again. Lessons only continue to happen until we learn them. So once we learn them, you don't have to go through that process anymore. You actually take that lesson and help somebody else to not make the same mistake,
Exactly.
So that's just key to the power that we have. We do not understand the power that we have. You get up in the morning, I'm getting ready to go to work. They're gonna do this, and what happens? They do.
Yep, it all happens.
It just keeps happening. So it's just the power that we have, and we need to start using our powers for good. Like, it just makes sense to do that and create the narrative for ourselves. And that's, for me, it's the same thing. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna feel this, and again, this could be happening all around me, but it's not a part of my narrative, so it doesn't affect me because that's not what I signed up for. I signed up for this. So that's how we can be somewhere, and one person is miserable, they're going through it, and I'm just like, tell them my life. That's my narrative. So knowing that you control narrative is like life changing. Like, it'll blow your mind once you start operating that.
I agree with that. And I always talk about controlling the narrative too, even with social media, the images that we put out, the things about our brand, our business, our families, we control so much of that people don't understand. People are like, somebody might feel like somebody told their business or gave their information away or something like that. But when you are controlling the narrative, you control what's released because you control what you tell others, you control what's exposed, you control, like, there's so much control in controlling the narrative. And people are like not tapping into that. But I want to know, now I didn't know that you creatively directed this Tamika Spice line. Have you ever creatively directed anything before that, or is that something new?
I don't know if you see the event that I did with Lipton or Pepsi. Like, I've been doing it for a while. Yeah, that's
Sorry. You are so multi-dimensional.
Sorry. No, I've been doing it and it's so funny. I've been doing it before I even was doing it. Like before even Katrina happened, I was doing it. But just maybe the last 8 years, 10 years, I've been really doing it and getting the paycheck from it because
Mhm.
again, it's when I realized I didn't realize somebody had told me it was like Jada, do you know what picking your brain is? At the time I was like, huh?
Right.
It was like, do you know many people pick your brain and now are like,
Mhm.
multi-millionaire? This is somebody really, really close to me who just know my talents. And she was like, I think you should really, make this a part of your business. Like that's
Mhm.
because you are really, really good at that. And I do find joy in seeing something small and then creating it. So really like brand activations and the birthing of brands, I love to be on the creative side
Mhm.
because again, it's a part of like that just the whole intuitiveness. Like I can see something and I'm gonna help it get to a certain level because it's just my heart is in it, especially I'm gonna do it. But no, that wasn't no, and she's been watching me for years. That's why she was like, listen, you're coming on board and you're doing this like at the end of the day, because she's very big on, friendships and business. Like some people like some friends don't work, some friends do, but she knows this is what I do and she's watched me do it. And so that's why when she, gave me the opportunity, I was like, of course, the Champagne region. And this is how deep I go into it. She is on here now. Hi, Champagne region. So when she came to me with an idea she wanted, like this is how deep I go into it. Um, I found out that her real name, I'm not gonna say her real name, but her real name is like a wine region somewhere like out in the wine country, like out of the country. Like I found out all this stuff and from there created like all this stuff for her brand. So this is again something I just love. I love to do. I'm gonna take my time and make sure that it's right. So that I mean Jada the Connect is on my website. I do have brand consultations, but
Mhm.
it's again I'm very selective with it, especially now because for me, if I'm going to do it, I want to make sure that your mind is right for this and something that you're just doing for money. It is
Right.
something that you're just doing for money. I don't want to have, there's people who you can hire to get that done.
Mhm.
I know for me, it becomes more of a relationship because I'm embedded into it. And when I say relationship, I mean relationship with the assignment, not with the
Mhm.
company, but with the assignment. And
Mhm.
I'm putting in everything that God has given me. So I'm very selective now on who I take in as a client for that because I'm gonna it's like a like I'm the branding mayor. Like that's my USP and I have that because
Mhm.
I'm going to make sure that you birth this thing like healthy. So that's no, it's I love doing it. I absolutely
That
love
is amazing. I remember you called me, this was many years ago, but you called me
you reckon now.
about, can you see me now?
Okay, yeah.
Can you see me now? Okay.
Yeah.
You called me, this was a long time ago, and I don't know what's happening. But yeah, you called me a while back and you said something to me that you thought I should do. You gave me some type of idea for makeup. Do you remember that?
I think I
You
remember I
called
don't
me.
remember what it was.
I don't either. But you
Oh
called me and you were like, hey, I had this really, I think you told, I don't know if you said you had a dream or you thought of something. This
it
train
had to be
loves
a
me.
dream for me to call. Yeah,
Yeah,
it had
and
to
you
be a dream.
did. And you told me
You
something.
gotta
I'm like,
figure it out
wow,
and go back to
I
it. You gotta
know.
figure it out. Lord, please deposit it back in my head because I listen. I promise you, everyone who has listened, and that's why my friends say you need to be doing this as a business because everyone who I have shared this with, if God told me something and like not come to me, but me telling them, they are so successful right now. So I
Mhm.
need to figure out what I
Please do.
told you.
Please remember. Because
Oh
I
my
don't
God.
remember, but I know you called me and I think it paused me. I don't remember, but I know you called me that day and you were excited and you were like, hey, I came up with this really good idea, something, something. I'm like, I don't think at the
No, it had to be
time.
a dream.
Yeah, I don't even know
I
why I
probably was
didn't
so
do
hyped.
it. Yeah, you were. I
So
remember
I,
that.
and you know, if I'm hype,
You
and so
were.
that's what I've learned to do now because I realize that like with this gift, I get so again invested in it that I'm so
Mhm.
hyped that I have to. Now I've learned how to be hyped for a minute and then share it because that's just something that again I'm a seer. Like God has blessed me with that. So for me to be able to see something and then share it, and then when I, especially when people do it and I see them successful with it, it is so crazy. I got a call, a Facebook like call from one of the girls. She had came to Liquid and we met in Liquid and she came and she was like, I want to do something. And this was before wigs were a thing. Like they
Mhm.
wasn't doing back then everybody was getting sew-ins. So I was like, you need to do some hair and do some wigs. I was like, this needs to be your name of the business. Like
Mhm.
I was just like, and it was like the strands was the name, and it's a logo like with the hair. And she was like, oh wow, this is crazy. So I thought honestly she did it because she was like, she had somebody she was met this guy who was a football player and he was going to send her to China to go and check it out. Again, before all this stuff was being done,
Mhm.
and she FaceTimed me the other day on
on
Facebook, and she
Facebook,
was
and she
like,
was like, "Can you hear?"
she's
She
like,
was like,
I'm looking
"I'm
at
looking
people
at
who
people
have
who have become
multimillionaires in
multimillionaires
the
in
hair
this hair
industry,
industry,
and you
and
gave
you
me that
gave me that
idea
idea
years
years
ago
ago
before it
before
became
it
a
became a
thing."
thing."
And
Mhm.
I
And
was
I
like,
was like,
I'm so
"I'm so
sorry. Like,
sorry."
I
Like,
just be obedient.
Right.
I just be obedient and do what it is to do. And listen, my friend Kyra, she always laughs because she was like, I'm gonna do because she was trying to do a reality show for me one time.
Mhm.
And so she
And so
was
she
like,
was like,
you know,
"You
when
know,
you do a reality show,
reality show,
you remember the
you remember the
TV show The
TV show, The
Medium?
Medium?"
Mm-mm.
So this
So
show
this show
came out
came out
about the
about the
medium and this
medium and
lady,
this
white
lady,
lady with
white lady
blonde
with
hair.
blonde hair.
That show
Mhm.
Her
came
show
out
came
and
out,
she
and
was like,
she was
she
like,
would
she
speak
would
to the
speak to like
people from
people from
not
who
even
got it from
family.
one's
So
family. So
she
Mhm.
would
she
see
would
them and
see
say,
them
your
and say,
relative
"Your
is
relative
doing
is
this."
doing this."
And so
And
when the
so
show
when the
came
show
out, Kyra
came
was
out,
so
Kyra was
mad
so
because
mad
she had
because
wanted to
she
do a
had wanted to do
show,
a show,
like a profit
like a
show, like
profit show, like
you could just
Mhm.
walk up to
walk up
people
to
and just
people
tell them what
and
you
just tell them
see.
what you
I'm like,
see.
I'm not about to pimp this book. Like, no, ma'am. Like, no,
Being
ma'am.
psychic.
He was like, no, you can get paid for it. And it was so funny, but she was joking about it. But I was like,
Mhm.
I'm not keeping this gift. And so for the longest, I'm telling you, I was
Right.
scared of it because it was like,
Mhm.
first of all, you got this
You
woman
got
who was
this woman who
very
was very
promiscuous and wasn't even
promiscuous and
thinking
wasn't
about
even
Mhm.
thinking about
you get
God,
that you got
gift that
from
you got
in the streets,
in the
running
streets,
to the club,
running to clubs,
drinking.
drinking,
But you
but
saw
saw
fit to
fit to
show me because I
show me
guess I
because
had
yes, I
been
had
had
been
it because I
had
had
it
been
because I
doing
had
things
been
as a
doing things
little
as a little
girl, and
girl,
people would
and
Mhm.
people would
say
say
things and how
things
I
and
was
how I was
operating,
operating,
but I didn't
but I
realize
didn't
it. But
realize it. But
I would be
I
like,
was like,
you saw
you
fit to
saw
give
fit to
me
give me
this gift,
this
like
gift,
you
like
saw
you
fit,
saw
not just
fit, not just
it was
it
just
was
it was for like
for like
you know
you know
again, I was
again
afraid
I
of
was
it. I'm
afraid
not
of
afraid
I'm
of
not
it
afraid of
anymore.
it anymore.
Like
Mhm.
Like
I
I
operated in it,
operated in
and
it, and
I would
I would
never
never
again,
again
be pimp
be
like
pimp
pimp it.
like
Like
pimp it. Like
because
Mhm.
because I've met
that
people like that. Like
profits
profit
reward. They need
reward.
this
They
money.
need
Right.
this money. They
I
need this.
I that
I
I
that
cringe when I
when
hear
I
stuff
hear
like
stuff
that. I
like that. I
cringe because
cringe
it's like
because it's like
you're playing,
you're
and that's what
playing,
a
and
lot
that's
of
what a
people
lot of people
mimic the
Mhm.
church,
mimic the church, make a mockery of the church.
do
Yep.
all this stuff. You know what I'm
You know
saying?
what I'm saying?
Because of that,
Because of
but
that, but
yeah, but
yeah,
I
but I
hope
hope
that it
that
comes
it
back
comes
to
back to
me, whatever it was
whatever it was.
that I
I
called
hope
you
so
on.
too.
If I was hyped, I promise you it was very, 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 very good.
You know what? It was a great idea though, because I know that I was thinking about it. And you know, and I don't know why I didn't do it, but
And
what
a
I
lot of times it be confirmation that I'm giving to people. So yeah, that probably what it was, me confirming. And
Mhm.
again, it all things work together for good. It will definitely happen because I can see you in the beauty industry heavily. I said that the first thing I said when we got on, I had to throw my lipstick on because your beauty is your thing. So hello
Thank
there,
you.
King Drew. Yeah, so that's see, he allows me to be Henry. That's another one of my Neyo family members right there.
Mhm.
He was
He
the
was
same with him. We were the same,
saying,
and he let
and
me
he
be
let me
who
be who
I am.
I am.
He
You know,
accepts
he
me for
accepts
who
me
I
for who I
am. Which is some people like
am.
they don't
Like
like
that
you
in
to
life,
accept you for being who you are.
That is funny. That is so funny. And funny enough, I sing all the time, like in real life. My like everybody who has, been like at my house and stuff, they know I like singing. I really do. I sing all the time and nobody knows that. Like on social
You
media, I
but you
never
can sing,
sing.
sing like for real
Mhm,
sing?
mhm.
What?
I
Girl.
sung in my high school pageant, 12th grade year. I sung in a pageant at school and everybody was so shocked. And everybody who was close to me was like, she sings all the time.
I'm saying the same thing too.
No,
He said, let's hear it. Are you serious? There is
no.
no way in the world. Listen, if I had a voice, we'd have started off this song. I promise you, we'd have started off this song because singing is like for me, is like I don't know, it's like a love offering and it's not all love. it's not it's not
It's
all
funny
love.
because as a kid, I wanted to be a singer. And if
Wow.
life would have had its way, I would have been a singer. I thought I was going
Wow.
to be a singer. I sung at church all the time. My mom played the piano. So my mom would play the piano and me and my sister would sing. But I was like, oh, I would go get the microphone. Like I thought I was going to be a performer in real life.
Wow.
So I just don't even know where I fell off task with that. But that's funny to hear
Wow.
you say that.
Well, I would love to listen. When you could have you a musical makeup line with a little piano palettes, sing for your marketing and stuff like that. Give us some of that, in there. But yes, don't wow, don't give the world some of that because singing music is love. Like
Mhm.
and you gotta I keep thinking about all the things that's happened with this pandemic. Like this our verses became crazy big. They were doing these live shows because they knew that music was the thing that brought joy to the people.
Mhm.
So don't sleep on that, man. Figure out how you can on it sometime
I
and so
will. I will tap into that. But I must ask, and I know everybody on here is gonna want to know this. What was it like working with Neo? He's you know super great with music. I love music, and I love Neo's music, and he's been around for such a long time. But what was it like to work so closely with him?
you
Because many
see
people don't get that.
You see this joke here, like you see him sing is not too late, sing tonight, like that. You saw the Dorian earlier,
Mhm.
like people know and who are close to me, they know that's my favorite artist I've ever worked with, and I've worked with some amazing people, but it was one of my favorite. Like just the family that
Mhm.
was hand selected to come together. When I say family, everybody who's on the tour, who's in the crew, is family. And
Mhm.
it was, I mean, if I believe that would be the only person I would him and Tamika will be the only two people that I go back on the road with. But it just was a joy. He loves his craft.
Mhm.
One, he's very dedicated. But just to see how he go and put 100 on stage the way that he did, it was just a beautiful thing. Cardi did the same thing. Cardi was very like like she's a performer, but
Mhm.
family that knit that love that you have just for that you could go away from home and still feel love. That's the Neil Camp. That Henry, I'm not just saying it because you on here, but
Mhm.
that he just was just a blessing.
And hey,
Everybody,
everyone who's joining.
hello everyone. Yes.
So, that's funny. I know you worked with almost everyone, seems like. I did not know recently, or I didn't even know you had worked with Cardi yet. And that's funny to know because I always see that you work with some of everyone.
Uh-huh.
So, many people, it's so funny because I always say one thing I
It
love
better
about
be. Sorry, he's
one
gonna
thing I
experience you.
really love about Neo is he's super creative. I like creative people. He
Yes.
can write, he can sing, he can produce, he
Yes.
does so many, yeah, he does so many things. And I think that is genius to be able to, most people have, maybe one or two gifts, but to
Mhm.
have so many gifts like that, I think that is amazing. So I always dream of like working around other very creative people like that. One person I really want to work with in life is Candy Burris. I love her.
Uh-huh.
You really do.
I can see that. I
And
can see
she reminds me of me a lot because she's a mom, but she does so many different things. And that reminds me of me. Like, I feel like I'm always doing something. And every time I turn around, it's like she's doing something else. And that reminds me of me. You know, I love
that
Beyonce
on
and I love,
purpose.
yeah, it's like I love Beyonce and I love, all of the other musicians. There's so many great people.
Hmm.
We have a very talented
Yes.
in life and source of people, but I like her because she's very normal, and that's how I want to be when I do become, you know,
That's how
where
you
I'm
will
gonna
be.
be.
That's how you
Right,
will
where I'm
be.
gonna
That's how
be.
you will be. And that's how, if you continue to speak that, and back to what you were saying, and just being very just vocal about that, you will get to be, that you'll manifest that. But like, when it comes to, when you were saying about Neil, being around that person who has so much creativity, it's really blessing when you can be around people who have so much creativity, but
Hmm.
allows you to be who you are in your creativity, and know that they need you and need your gifts. Not every artist gives you that. He did.
Hmm.
Again, everybody. And for me, again, when it comes to like productions and shows, my heart and soul would always gravitate to the people behind the scenes, or really making the things happen. Really,
Hmm.
I mean, again, when the artist is asleep, they're working. They're making sure that when the artists get there, everything is set up for them. And some artists do not appreciate that, and it hurts me a lot when I see that. But at Neo Camp, no, everybody is accepted for who they are, and even encouraged to, push into their craft. And it's a beautiful thing when you can have that. So definitely, in your speaking things into existence, that you want to work with someone, that they are going to acknowledge who you are for who you are, and push you to elevate, and push you to move forward. And that's how I want to be as a leader, is
Hmm.
to always push people to go higher and be higher, and open the door for everybody that comes in. I can say that Tamika is like that 100%, like 100%, and it's just so grateful. And I'm not just saying it because that's a friend, but just
Hmm.
100% that way. And so, being that, but when you said that, like, if maybe if you'd have said that like 10 years ago, I would have been like, yeah. But where I see you is like, y'all will be having lunch, like, as a as a as two millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Like, two highly established people sitting there, just, exchanging conversations. Like, I can't even tell you that I see that. Like, I won't even
Thank
sit here and be,
you.
and be like, oh yeah, girl, yeah, girl, good job. I see you on that level. So
Thank you.
continue speaking that and seeing that, and you know as you move and gravitate higher, how that's going to be, and maybe interviewing her, something of that nature, because I see you, on that level. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. And I received that, and thank you. One thing I definitely want to shout out everybody who's on here who doesn't know. Jayda is the creative director for Tamika Scott out of Escape, her new spice line. So we're gonna drop the link down there for you all to go and purchase some spices there
Yes,
because
southernfuse.com.
what is it?
Southernfuse.com. I'll write it down.
Southernfuse.com. Please go ahead, and we want to shout out Tamika Scott because she's another one. What I really like about her and all of the ladies of Escape, I feel like they are very much down to earth and normal. Like they don't act, some people become in the industry and they become a lot.
Yes.
And I feel like each of them are very sweet and kind-hearted
Yes.
as
Yes.
they appear to be. So I think it's a very cute brand. When I saw it the other
It's
day.
her, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
When I saw it the other day, I'm like, this is cute. And I saw
and
you all were at the event, and then we were supposed to meet one day, and I think that's where you all were. launching it that night, I
Yes.
think.
Yes.
So yeah, I definitely want to shout that out. So everyone who's watching this, please go ahead and purchase some Southern Fuse, and I'm gonna get me some too.
Yeah, so that is in a nutshell of who I am, and yeah. Yes, and it has been a beautiful journey and it continues to go. And I mean, my ultimate goal, and again, like, like I say, wait to this next one. Like, my ultimate goal is to create spaces for people
Mhm,
just to come and rest their soul, like,
mhm.
especially creatives and just creatives, period, because creatives, it doesn't have a limit to where they are. It could be an entrepreneur, it could be an artist, it could be whatever, but go through so much and forget about ourselves. And so it's
Right.
so important to come back to who you are and giving yourself, like, celebrate. Like, people wait to their yearly vacations. Oh, it's not like, what? That
Right.
was the only thing that tripped me out in the flight attendant world. Is like how these people have free flights, never go nowhere. I'm like, yo, crazy.
Yeah. I always said that too. I'm like, that is so weird, but I guess they are tired and
Ain't no way.
take some break.
Ain't no such thing. No.
Yeah.
No
Mm-mm.
way in the world. Like, there's no way. And not even them, like, there are people who don't even fly and get benefits,
Right.
and they don't do anything. Like, there's an engineer that, and he's been an engineer with Southwest for I mean, almost 40 years, and him and his wife never went anywhere. Like, oh, I don't know. Girl, it was so funny. They're such a cute little, like they're now maybe older couple, maybe like in their 60s, but they're like kind of old fashioned, like cute little old
Hmm.
fashioned couple. Girl, it was so funny that we bumped each other to each other in the airport, and they it was like a scene from an old TV show where they had their luggage and it was gone, and the lady was so happy, like, I'm so glad you told him we need to take a vacation. It is
Okay, it's
so
so necessary.
especially if you can go, with that's a major cost.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then when you're an employee of the airline, you get discounts with the hotel. Use those privileges. Use it.
Okay.
Use it. But even if you're not in the industry, even if you're working at Popeyes,
Right.
go on a road trip.
Yep.
Do something. Explore. Like, life is for the living, people.
Hmm. I
It
know
is
that's
for
right.
the living.
Well, we have had an extensive conversation tonight, and as usual, you have delivered all gems as always. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. Does anybody have any questions for either of us? I will give it a few seconds. I hate that this video got chopped up on Instagram the way that it did.
And it got chopped, and this guy was like, please, I think it was one of your own people. He was like, please be recording this. Like, this is, I'm getting my life right now. And as soon as
Right.
he said that, it just went out. I was like, I feel so bad for him.
I
Oh my,
know. I'm gonna share it from my YouTube.
okay.
I'm gonna share, but I don't see any questions. Jada, go ahead and tell everyone, please, where they can find you. I did share with my email list this morning, but go ahead and please tell us where we can find you and connect with you.
Well, there you go. JadaTheConnector.com. You can definitely connect with me there. It's the same for Instagram. Facebook, it's the same. Also, Jada Atkinson for my Facebook page as well. But I am always there. I'm always social. Sometimes a little too social. But I just love life and I love sharing. And so, if you need some support and, you know your brand, your mindset, I am here for you to help your purpose shine bright and connect you to your peace, connect you to clarity, whatever it is that you're looking for. I am here and available. And I'm so honored that you allow me this opportunity to connect with you and
Mhm.
see you in all your beauty and joy. So, I'm grateful.
Thank you. And I am honored that you are here as you always have been. You've been a light since I met you. So I appreciate, when I reached out, you didn't hesitate as you never do. And you know, it had me on your platform before. So I appreciate you always reaching back and connecting with me and staying in touch. And I got to do better. I got to do better because I feel like we have lost touch along the
Listen, I'm
way.
not worried about you seeing me. I want you to go see a man. That's what I want.
You know what? The next time I talk to you, I'm going to have a man.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You deserve it. You deserve it. You need somebody can use coughing and bring you some water. Okay.
I know that's right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with us so much. Hopefully, we'll get to do this again someday,
Yes.
and we'll get to see
Soon I
Jada.
feel it.
I
Yes.
know we'll get to see Jada again up in the limelight. But good night, everyone. Thank you all for hanging out with us. See you all next time.
Good night. Oh, wait, that one might save, huh?
Uh-oh, let me see. I think it did.
That was
Share. That one saved.
that was so good.
I know. I'm like, that was really good. Hold on, it's asking me for. Okay, Instagram is a little different to share. Hold on. Uh, I thought it was share with the name. I guess not. Hold on, let me get the name of it. But I think that was amazing. I did not know for real that you were the creative director for that.
Yeah.
And I think her labels and everything. I thought it was really cute when I saw it.
Thank you, because you just over there going there first. It was a fight. It was a fight, but we got it done. We got it done.
Let me see. And
Thank you, babe.
the
Love
only
you.
the only thing that's funny about using the Restream app is I don't know if they like